This guy is just sitting in class, and every girl keeps sneaking glances at him. They can't help it. He's loaded with billions sitting in his bank account, and on top of that, he's handsome too. But Chen Yuan doesn't spare them a second of attention. He's here for one reason only, to meet the most beautiful girl on campus, the one every dude dreams about. Hundreds have tried shooting their shot, and she rejected every single one of them as not worthy. One guy got so persistent, her friend literally stabbed him with a pen for getting too close. Then Chen Yuan strolls up to her, and she actually agrees to add him as a friend and chat privately. The girls are stunned. The guys can't contain their jealousy. Chen Yuan is casually pulling the school goddess like it's nothing. But just a few days ago, this guy was a complete hopeless loser. This boy was sitting alone in his dark dorm room, clutching his phone like it was the last lifeline in the world. Chen Yuan couldn't even breathe properly. His girlfriend had just dumped him over text. Not a call, not a conversation, a text. At first he laughs to himself, thinking it must be a joke. No way she'd really break up like this. So he types, asking what happened, what he did wrong, and what about their future plans. But the next moment he hits send, he gets an error. She blocked him. Meanwhile, his roommate Yuan Gay is peacefully gaming, shouting to Chen Yuan to join because they're one player short. But the protagonist just rushes downstairs. Outside the dorm entrance stands his girlfriend, or ex-girlfriend now, waiting by the road. The moment people see him running toward her, they start whispering, "It's the campus licking dog, the guy who chased her for 3 years." He begs her to talk, but she flinches at the crowd and tells him not to embarrass her. Still shaking, the MC stretches his hand forward, offering her the dish she loves, the one he worked 4 part-time jobs to afford, and pleads with her not to end things. He promises he'll change anything she dislikes. He'll fix everything. But then she drops the bomb. She's not angry at him. She's just getting back with her ex. "He needs me more," she says. Chen Yuan's world collapses. He screams, curses the ex she once caught cheating. And right on cue, the guy pulls up in his shiny car. She gets inside without looking back, telling Chen Yuan, "Let's not meet again." He stands frozen. Then he throws the food straight into the trash. His heart shattered and throat dry, so he wanders into a convenience store to buy water, thinking, "Why do my genuine feelings always get trampled? Am I destined to be a licking dog forever?" Out of rage, he decides, "Fine, I'll stop being a dog. I'll become a sea king." That's when he hears it. Ding! A holographic screen flashes into existence in front of him. A licking dog system. A cheat so broken he can't even process it. But before he can understand anything, a furious shout explodes beside him. A girl accuses him of staring at her chest. Another screen pops up, this time next to her. Her name, her details, and a note. If he raises her affection above 95 using the system, she becomes his licking dog. Chen Yuan stares, stunned. 9 trillion licking dog coins, all meant to be spent on women? And only women can use the card? He decides to test it right here, right now. He smiles, calls the white-haired girl beautiful, and tells her he'll cover all her expenses today. Instant hook, just 1 sentence, and she steps right into the system's trap. The people hear her talk, and when they notice the two of them standing together, they start gossiping about how she's the art department's beauty who's quite formidable, as she once made a man spend 30,000 with just 3 sentences. When the girl challenges his ability, he tells her to try it out. Thus, she tells him that she wants to treat all of her friends in the convenience store to a snack and asks him if he can help her with the money. She underestimates him based on his looks and clothes and waits for him to get embarrassed. However, Chen Yuan transfers 50,000 to her account, which makes everyone gasp with shock. Looking at his looks, they wonder if he's just some hidden rich second generation to spend 50,000 like it's nothing. He then asks her if he can add her on WeChat, but the white-haired girl is still in shock after getting a large amount of money transferred to her account. Therefore, she gets an idea. And after leaning closer to him, she tells him not to hurry because adding on WeChat is possible too. But first she wants to take him somewhere with her. Shuleli plans on ruthlessly taking advantage of the MC and takes him to a brand store. On top of that, she clarifies to him that she isn't a gold digger and has only taken him here to see his sincerity and attitude. On the other hand, our boy has no issue having an intense start, so he lets her know this and tells her to pick whatever she wants to. Since he has no other woman at the moment to try out all of this on, he feels enthusiastic to spend it on the girl as an experiment for the licking dog system. Once they enter the brand store, they look around at the designer bags until he suddenly hears the voice of his ex-girlfriend, who just dumped him an hour ago. That ex-girlfriend is talking to her now boyfriend, with whom she went away in the car, and asks him about how the bag she's wearing is looking on her. Her boyfriend seems pretty occupied with his mobile phone and completely ignores her question. When the MC looks at her, he unintentionally calls out her name in surprise, which makes the girl turn towards him. The protagonist continues to stare at his ex-girlfriend in surprise, and when the white-haired girl sees him like that, she instantly realizes that the other girl is his ex-girlfriend. She teasingly states that it seems like she's arrived at the wrong time, but in order to make his ex-girlfriend regret, he says that she has rather arrived at the most perfect time. The white-haired girl then goes to a female sales associate and asks her if they still have the spring collection bag in the store. The lady answers that there's only one left of those bags, which is currently being tried on by the MC's ex-girlfriend. MC's girlfriend gets annoyed by him following them around, Thus, she decides to show him the difference between a loser, him, and her new boyfriend. For that, she calls her boyfriend's name and tells him that someone's birthday is coming up. Upon hearing the word birthday, he finally pays attention to Shutong and asks her if they didn't just celebrate her birthday. When she explains to him that it was the lunar birthday earlier and it's now the solar one, he looks at her in an annoyed way and tells her that he doesn't like materialistic girls, and further asks her if she has gotten together with him just for his money. Junkai, her boyfriend's comments shock her completely, since she hadn't expected him to be this straightforward. Rather, her game of showing off her boyfriend's wealth goes against her own self. The white-haired girl has overheard the exchange between the two of them. So when she gets to know that the other girl's boyfriend isn't buying that bag for his girlfriend, the white-haired girl quickly steps forward and takes the bag from her. Without doing anything, and just by seeing the exchange between the other couple, Shulele's favorability points increase towards the MC. Furthermore, when he slides his card and pays for the bag, her favorability points increase once more at double the rate. The protagonist smirks at the power of money since just a bag increased the favorability points by 60, and at this rate, he thinks that buying a few more bags will make Shulele reach the threshold, but he worries about the amount of cashback being too low. The female sales associates at the store start whispering among themselves after the MC's ex-girlfriend refuses to have that spring collection bag. They gossip about how the rich men pinch pennies with their girlfriends, whereas the ordinary men spend tens of thousands without blinking an eye. That's why they realize their manager forbade them to judge people solely by their appearance. The white-haired girl also listens to their gossip and says to herself that bags are like boyfriends. The ones you snatch are the best to use. Therefore, she decides to seize the big fish while looking at our boy and walks up to him. By repeatedly calling the protagonist her husband, she begins praising him and clings onto his arm to make his ex-girlfriend jealous. When Shutong sees them together, she gets jealous and storms past him in anger, saying to him that he's gone too far. As she walks away, the protagonist smirks at her, saying to himself that it isn't too much because they have a long way to go. Junkai runs after her to catch up with her when suddenly MC gets bonded to another licking dog relationship, which is with his ex-girlfriend. Once the two of them are out of the store, the white-haired girl gets closer to the MC and asks him if he's satisfied with how she just performed to make his ex-girlfriend jealous. Without answering her question, he also starts walking out of the store, so the white-haired girl asks him where he's going. To her surprise, he reveals that they are going nowhere other than to continue shopping because he doesn't want her to get satisfied by a single bag. The MC keeps paying for one item after another, while the sales staff hurry to please him. The art college girl holds designer bags in both hands and feels a rush of excitement. Every time he swipes his card, her heart skips a beat. She even starts to think that when men spend money so openly, they look very handsome. Each purchase makes her favorability toward him climb higher. Perfume adds 5 points, makeup adds 5 points, and when he buys her clothes, another 5 points rise. After a while, she feels overwhelmed. Shulele's arms are full and she laughs nervously as she tells him that it is enough and that she really cannot carry more. She expects him to stop. Instead, he looks at her calmly and says that if her room cannot hold all of it, he will simply buy her a new house. At that moment, her excitement turns to unease. She says that they have only just met, and he is already spending so much money on her. Her favorability drops a little as fear slips in. The protagonist notices the change in her expression. He can tell that she is no longer fully happy, and he realizes that his bold statement might have scared her. Wanting to ease the tension, he steps closer and lowers his voice. Instead of talking about money, he talks about her. He lists small details about her life that show how closely he has been paying attention. He says she is a third-year student at the Academy of Arts, 21 years old, with a height of 165 centimeters and a weight of 49 kilograms. He remembers her favorite color is black and how she enjoys Korean food. He even knows her horoscope is Capricorn. Her shoe size is 37, and she enjoys horror movies but fears walking at night. By sharing all of this, he wants her to understand that his actions are not random. He truly likes her, and that is why he is acting so suddenly. He then turns back to the store staff and asks about a membership card. Without hesitation, he deposits 500,000 into it. He tells them that whenever she comes back, they should show her the latest and best models. Handing her the card, he smiles and calls it his apology gift. The girl freezes for a moment, her eyes twinkling with surprise and a strange softness. Just when the mood seems almost too sweet, he teases her. With a playful wink, he says that if she is still worried, she can always repay him with her body. The sudden joke makes her face flush red. She calls him annoying and runs off. Her favorability jumps by 30 points in one go. Around them, the people in the store whisper with admiration. They talk about how he may look ordinary on the outside, but his generosity and thoughtfulness make him shine. Some say they are already in love with his charm. Hearing this praise makes our boy even more confident. He thinks to himself that teasing with money is far more effective than teasing with words alone. Later, as things calm down, the girl notices something else. He has bought so many things for her, yet not a single item for himself. She does not know the truth that he is nearly broke, but she decides to act anyway. She thinks to herself that if she wants to hold his attention and build something lasting, she cannot only take from him, she should also give back in her own way. So she takes the lead this time, She carefully selects clothes for him and brings him to a salon for a haircut. When the work is done, the transformation is obvious. The once plain young man now looks sharp, clean, and full of charm. As she gazes at him, her heart stirs again. Each time her eyes meet his new look, her favorability rises by another 5 points. She finds herself stealing glances, admiring him more and more. The more she looks at him, the more her favorability increases by 5, and she realizes that he is unexpectedly handsome. After the shopping trip, Shulele cannot stop staring at our boy. The MC notices her gaze and becomes flustered. He laughs awkwardly and says it feels strange. He thinks that this is the first time he has dressed up so nicely, and that he is lucky he was not the one who paid for it. She reaches out, assures him that it is not weird at all, and she even says that he suits her very well now. After making that bold little move, she steps back, smiles, and says that she had a lot of fun with him that day. She thanks him warmly and adds that at times it even felt like she was in love. With that, she gives him a flying kiss and leaves, her favorability now at 68. The protagonist walks back to his dormitory feeling cheerful. As soon as he enters the room, his roommates are shocked to see his new appearance. They ask where he has been and why he is dressed so nicely. Casually, he replies that he was out on a date with the art college girl. None of them believes him. They laugh and say that he could not even keep his ex-girlfriend, so how could he possibly get close to the art college girl, who is considered the beauty of the arts department? They tease him and say that he is aiming too high. The MC simply nods and thanks them, not wanting to argue. Not long after, he receives a message from his ex-girlfriend. She writes that if he really hates her, they should just unfriend each other. The MC understands right away that if he cuts her off, he will lose a source of favorability points, and he still needs those to level up and earn money. So he replies sweetly, telling her that he could never hate her and that she will always be special. She tries to explain herself by saying she is only with her current boyfriend because she needs money for her mother's medicine. She claims she is not a gold digger, just desperate. She adds that she needs $50,000 to cover her mother's sickness. Without hesitation, the MC transfers the money to her. The sudden generosity shocks her. Shutong gasps in disbelief and says that she had only mentioned it casually, but he actually sent her the money. Her roommate, curious about her shocked reaction, asks who sent so much money. Her roommate first mentions her current boyfriend, but the ex-girlfriend corrects her, saying that it was the MC. Her roommate is surprised and points out that the MC had just been dumped. So how could someone like him be so rich? Even the ex-girlfriend begins to doubt her own judgment. Unsure, she feels she must demand an explanation. The ex-girlfriend's favorability for the MC rises by 5. She becomes interested and begins sending him a series of messages. She asks how he suddenly has so much money, what really happened in the store earlier, and what his relationship with the art college girl is. She even asks if he is secretly wealthy. Our boy ignores her flood of questions, silences his phone. He thinks to himself that his ex-girlfriend is too amusing. At the same time, he realizes he must be patient with Shulele and things with her cannot be rushed. He needs other ways to spend money and gain favorability. Suddenly, an idea comes to him: live streaming. On streaming platforms, there are countless beautiful women, and by sending them gifts, he can spend money quickly. He logs into a popular platform where a streamer named Xiaomier is broadcasting live. She cheerfully thanks her fans for small gifts, calling out their usernames and blowing kisses. She warns that her stream is about to end in an hour, so if viewers want to send something, they should hurry. The MC thinks that this is the perfect place. In a single moment, he throws a virtual gift worth $1 million. She thanks the mysterious sender. She gasps loudly, overwhelmed. The chat explodes with shock as her screen fills with rockets. Seeing 100 rockets worth 10,000 each makes the Shark live streamer shocked. Not only her, but all the viewers of the live stream can't believe that someone just spent $1 million on the streamer. Out of jealousy, some of the viewers begin to talk down on the MC, calling themselves the richest. Their confidence annoys the MC. Thus, he decides to show them what it's like to underestimate him by giving the live streamer another monetary shock. He spends rockets on her once again, but this time he spends 900 of that. This decision of our boy shakes the headquarters of the Shark Live company, and one of the employees rushes to their boss. Out of astonishment, he yells about something big that happened and barges into the boss room without permission. When he informs the boss about an unidentified tycoon spending $10 million in that live streamer's channel at once, the boss spits out the water he was drinking in shock. The boss can't believe his ears and questions the employee if that's their own boy, while wondering if the tycoon is trying to launder money. Meanwhile, in the streamer's lounge, the other female streamers also announce the ID name of the MC, telling each other to quickly send our boy a private message since he spent $10 million on one of the live streamers just now. Thinking how it'll be enough for a few months of their salary if the MC spends some on them, they start sending him private messages. On the other hand, the live streamer on whom our boy just spent so much is still in shock at what she just witnessed. She pinches her cheek to check if she's dreaming when she suddenly hears a bell. Upon turning towards it, she sees one of the employees showing her a board to convey the boss's message. Through that, she's instructed to secure the MC to get her commission increased by 10%. She smirks at the message since she was already not planning to let go of such a big benefactor to other streamers. Thus, she winks and thanks our boy for the rocket. She then asks him to send her a private message to get a moderator role from her. However, the protagonist has long gone to sleep, and the poor streamer keeps sending him private messages to secure him. The next day, the protagonist is woken up by his roommate's voices, who keep on blabbering about someone spending 10 million last night on the Shark Live app within an hour. One of them even dreams about the dozen houses he could buy in his hometown if he had that much money, whereas the other one laughs at him. Due to all that noise, our boy finally gets up. As he freshens up, he checks the licking dog relationship binding list, and is surprised to see that the live streamer from last night didn't even bind the relationship, despite getting so much money. He wonders if the relationship binding only happens in person, and wonders if he just wasted all that money on her. Thinking about this, the MC opens the Shark Live app to see what's going on. He is met with quite a lot of private messages from various female live streamers trying to connect with him. With a mix of anxiousness and surprise, he wonders if he stirred up some hornet's nest last night. Simultaneously, he hears his roommates excitedly rushing out of the room, talking about securing the good spots. When our boy hears them, he asks them about where they're going without taking him. They answer that they're going to a general course class, so that they can appreciate the beauty of one of the beautiful girls in their class. Moreover, they claim that the reason they didn't inform him was that he takes too much time to get ready, which would eventually result in them arriving there after the class is over. One of the roommates asks our boy whether he is coming or not, advising him to hurry up. Thus, he considers going when he thinks about the famous girl of their class, and an idea seems to pop up in his mind. Subsequently, the group of 4 guys decide to finally go to the class together to see the famous girl who is the campus flower and also the vice president of the student union at Lake University. Basically, she's the dream of every male student there because of her outstanding qualities. Not just that, she's even grade 10 in piano, chief of the ballet troupe, and a second-level athlete, along with her high beauty. Her uniqueness and independence make her stand out, and this solitary peak hasn't been attained for 3 years. The MC sits in the class while thinking about her, whereas the other girls of the class secretly swoon over him due to his new getup. Unbeknownst to them, our boy plans to get money from the campus flower since she's so hard to pursue. Among the girls admiring him, there's his ex-girlfriend and her roommate too. They discuss how he's changed after a few days of not seeing him and wonder if he's just trying to impress his ex-girlfriend. His ex-girlfriend's favorability increases, and she feels her heart getting confused. The increase in her favorability instantly catches the protagonist's attention, and he thinks of her as a superficial woman since he only changed his dressing. Whatsoever, he tries focusing on how to bind the campus flower when he suddenly hears a group of guys encouraging their friend to make her fall for him. The MC looks closely at the guy who confidently approaches the famous girl and asks to add him on WeChat while calling her baby. This angers the girl's roommate, who questions the guy about what he's trying to do. When the guy answers that he's only asking her to add him on WeChat so that they can get to know each other and become friends, the girl's roommate furiously grabs the guy by his shirt and points her pen at the eye of the guy. The campus girl's roommate angrily asks the guy about what he's trying to plot against the girl, to which the guy calls it a misunderstanding. He lies about his intentions, claiming that he just wants to join the student union. That's why he was asking for her number to inquire about it since she's the vice president. The roommate calls it a lousy excuse and sarcastically advises him to come up with a better one to pick up girls. This makes the guy almost cry out as he runs away from the two of them. The campus flower calms down her roommate as she continues to swear at the guy. Suddenly the MC steps forth too, and after calling out the famous girl, he directly expresses his wish of adding her on WeChat. The girl looks at him in surprise, whereas her roommate seethes in anger upon coming across another guy. The students in the class begin to find it all entertaining when our boy puts in front the QR code for the famous girl to scan and add him on WeChat. They chatter about how brave he is to voluntarily come forward in order to get trampled on by the roommate girl. Finally, the roommate girl speaks up, and acknowledging his charisma, she sarcastically asks him if he's also here to join the student union. However, the protagonist was firm on being true and confident, thus he clearly refuses to be interested in the student union. Upon being asked further about his intentions for asking the campus girl to be added on his WeChat, he nonchalantly asks her if it isn't obvious. When the girl confusedly stares at him, waiting for his answer, he assertively claims that he just wants to pursue the campus girl and then extends his hand towards her. Astonished by the protagonist's bluntness, the campus girl keeps staring at him while the roommate displays an expression of horror. On the other hand, all the students are now focused on our boy after he made such a bold move. They can't believe that he's asked her to be added on WeChat, but are sure that he'll be insulted miserably anytime soon. To everyone's surprise, the campus flower accepts the MC's request and takes out her phone to add him. This makes his ex-girlfriend's roommate ask his ex-girlfriend whether there's something going on between them since MC is her pursuer. The protagonist knows that the desire to be beautiful is inherent in everyone, so there's no need to hide it. Moreover, sometimes the simplest approach is the most effective, as long as the other one is a woman, because who doesn't like being pursued? Therefore, he succeeds in winning over the campus flower girl's relationship binding. After the class is over, the students start coming out of the class. The MC's roommates get together with him on their walk out of the campus and start complimenting him for getting the famous girl's WeChat. They further acknowledge the change in him, but state that he's still a dog. As they keep going, one of them asks the MC to introduce them to other girls if he manages to win over the campus flower, but the MC states that these are all just wishful thoughts since he's nothing in front of her. Suddenly, a guy agrees with his statement from behind. When the protagonist turns around to see who it is, it turns out to be a guy who was flirting with the vice president of the student council before MC. Smugly, the MC replies to him by saying that he'll learn from the guy in the future about how to willingly accept humiliation, since it's his expertise. The protagonist's words anger the guy a lot, and he lunges towards him to attack, but the guy's friends hold him back. The MC nonchalantly turns around to leave while calling the guy childish, when suddenly the white-haired art college girl from earlier arrives, whom the MC gave so many purses. When the art college girl calls our boy slow for taking too long to meet her, the boys around them go crazy. She is called the straight guy slayer since she ranks 6th on the campus beauty list. Our boy slyly talks about dying for making such a beauty wait for him and asks her out for dinner to make up for this. The girl asks the protagonist about how her outfit looks on her, to which he claims that more than the dress, she's carrying the bag in the best way. After that, the two of them walk away, leaving his ex-girlfriend sulking. The guy who earlier got rejected by the campus girl mutters about what he lacks so much when he suddenly hears the same words from behind her. This makes him jump in surprise as he wonders who is more wronged than him. Upon turning around, he sees the MC's ex-girlfriend, crying about how she was the first in the MC's life. Once the MC and the art college girl are out of the campus, she takes out a sketch of our boy and shows it to him. She says that it's a gift from her, which she spent the whole night drawing. When she further warns him not to casually throw it away, our boy is already surprised upon receiving a gift. This is the first time that the protagonist is getting a gift from a girl, and he keeps looking at her in disbelief. After she asks him if he likes it or not, he smiles before he suddenly realizes something. He wonders if this gift and all those clothes and the haircut from her are just bait for him to trap him. He thinks about how she must have planned to trap him ever since he spent money on her. However, he smirks at not being the same person as before. Seeing the weird faces the MC's making while thinking about all that, the art college girl wonders if he doesn't like her gift. As she looks at him with an unsure expression, he asks her about why she's given it to him. Hesitantly, the girl replies that she stayed awake the whole night just to give him this, and asks if he doesn't like it. The protagonist takes the sketch from her hand and steps closer to her. Looking closely into her eyes, he asks her charismatically whether she will be responsible to him or not if he doesn't receive such a beautiful gift in the future. The girl had thought that he hadn't found the drawing beautiful, but when he took the drawing from her and flirted like that, she let out a sigh. Playfully, she swears at him and asks for her drawing back, while he waves it up in the air, saying that he wants to keep it as a family heirloom. She continues trying to catch him, but instead he grabs her hand and gets closer to her. He claims that over her gift, he is definitely going to prefer her, and this makes her blush extremely. Our boy's smooth move almost makes the art college girl fall for her as she looks at him with heart eyes. She acknowledges his brilliant flirting skills, and her favorability points get incremented by 5. Seeing her expression, he smirks and thinks to himself how she has turned into a good tool for him to earn money. As they both are lost in their thoughts, suddenly a male voice calls the art college girl's name, and a hand comes in between the two of them. The voice and hand combo separates the two of them, and they both stumble back. The boy who just barged between the two is wearing round glasses, and he questions the art college girl about how she told him that she is doing nails with her best friend, yet she is here with another guy. The round glasses guy tears up while asking the art college girl about why she is hugging another when she told him that she was going to get her nails done. He then points at the MC, asking the girl if the MC's so rich that she's hugging our boy while not letting him even touch her, even though he's been trying to pursue her for so long. The protagonist looks at the glasses guy pitifully and thinks that he seems like just an unlucky lapdog of the art college girl, and he could relate to the temperament of that guy. The girl finally speaks up, and in an arrogant tone, she asks the guy about who he is to her and what her dating life has to do with him. However, before the glasses guy can say anything, the MC steps in between them. After greeting, he introduces himself to the glasses guy and asks his name and the duration he's been pursuing the girl. The girl looks at them confusedly, wondering what's happening between the two of them, while the glasses guy tells his name. He further informs us that he's from the School of Arts and has been pursuing this girl for about half a year. After knowing this, the MC feels bad about him and reveals how he also once chased a girl for 3 years. He continues telling about how he worked 4 part-time jobs and had to eat plain steamed buns with pickled vegetables every day. Despite all of this, the girl ended up sitting in someone else's car and went away from him. The story moves the glasses guy, and he feels bad about the MC. Our boy then holds the glasses guy's shoulders and tells him that the ones who betray them will become our motivation to strive for self-improvement. Therefore, he shouldn't worry about a woman when he'd become a great man himself. He then advises the glasses guy to return to his dorm and forget about her before working hard and achieving success to make her regret her choices. The glasses guy starts crying and promises to the protagonist that he'll surely become strong and earn a lot of money. Seeing him cry confuses the art college girl even more, so once the glasses guy is gone, she calls out to the MC, telling him the glasses guy is just her regular friend. However, before she can finish her sentence, our boy turns around and tears her drawing, saying he doesn't care about her past, but to him it feels like she doesn't respect him or herself. Before leaving, he permits her to continue using the card from the last day, but forbids her to meet him until she's handled her interpersonal relationships. As he turns away from her, he smirks and wonders how she will respond to this strategy of tempting her to capture him, since he's looking forward to it. The art college girl looks at the flying pieces of the torn paper and thinks about how this is the first time that someone has been so understanding of her. Tears start to flow from her eyes, and while wiping them off, she says to herself that the MC really likes him, and it's she who has messed up. On his way to the dorm, the protagonist thinks about how women can't be too complacent, so it's good to tease them from time to time. Now that the art college girl has been pushed for a while, the MC decides to switch to the campus flower. When he takes out his phone, he gets a notification that the popular girl is on a live stream. This new information surprises him since he hadn't imagined her to be a streamer. Yuen joins Chiki's broadcast and surprisingly finds her cute. He's even more surprised by her small viewership, but then he receives a text from another influencer. He gets upset when he asks her to meet up and she refuses, saying she's busy. She offers to dance for him tonight, but our MC knows that's just a trick to get him to send gifts. He has spent 10 million in gold and silver without even a binding confirmation, which makes him think it'll be better to send the money to President Zhao. Suddenly, Yuan gets a notification saying President Zhao is competing with someone. He's worried that she might end up against some big influencer, but he's also excited to watch a player kill competition. As he joins the broadcast competition, our protagonist realizes that fate has brought Xiaomi and President Zhao against each other. As the match begins, Xiaomi feels relaxed to see the huge point gap between her and Chiki. She's confident that our generous hero will back her with his money. Viewers start to gossip about our hero's spending. While the new influencer thinks she has Yuan completely in her control, she forgets how she kept dodging meeting him. Our rich protagonist starts to send gifts. Xiaomi starts celebrating in excitement, but her excitement washes off when she notices that those 1,000 rockets were a gift for Chiki and not her. While President Zhao is amazed by the generous gifts, Xiaomi's excitement turns into despair, and she gets a call from her boss asking for an explanation. Xiaomi leaves the broadcast, saying she has to attend to some other matter. The audience in her chat gossips about how she just got played. Yan looks down on his phone and hopes that President Zhao doesn't let him down too. Meanwhile, back at the streaming company, the boss is shocked to see our hero spend money like some oil prince. The girls in the streamer's lounge are also surprised and, thinking that he might be into music, rush to get their instruments. On the other hand, Xiaofei celebrates Chiki's trending success and excitement, but Chiki's response is the opposite. She doesn't find pleasure in seeking attention from men online and doesn't want that to be her long-term plan. She believes in women's independence, both economical and personal. Xiaofei is curious if she knows who the wealthy guy is, but she tells him she doesn't know. However, the new internet sensation believes she should send Yuan a text to thank him. Xiaofei walks away thinking that texting her supporter is the opposite of what Chiki believes. Suddenly, she screams in panic as she opens her supporter's profile. Seeing his name, she realizes she might know Chen Yuan. Yuan is the son of a business tycoon who has a simple nature and lives like an ordinary person. He grew up tired of being looked up to and wanted to live freely. One day, he met a girl that he fell in love with and pursued her like an ordinary person. This is the story that Zhao believes about our MC. She thinks he had a luxurious childhood, and his life as an ordinary person must be difficult. Xiaofei reminds her that she reads too many novels. President Zhao decides to text him. Yuan's phone rings and he finds a text from her. The influencer invites him to dinner, and they decide to meet up at the school gate at 4 the next day. Our hero is surprised that she didn't ask how he got the money, which makes him more curious about her. The next day, Yuan takes his bike and reaches the school. A rich man steps out of his Audi and tells him he's waiting for her goddaughter. As our hero notices Zhao, the rich man tells him to stop looking and advises him to work hard to make money and attract beautiful women. President Zhao sees Yuan standing before her. Her eyes light up, and his ordinary bike and clothes all appear fancy to her. While the rich man boasts about his car and how our MC will never be able to afford it, the influencer and Yuan ride past him on the bike, leaving him shocked. The rich man cries looking at his reflection as he realizes his money was worth nothing, and the guy on a bike got the girl. After a while of a heart-filled ride, they finally arrive at their place. The waiter brings out the spicy and garlic-flavored dishes. President Zhao is impressed by her date's manners even at a simple food stall. As he hands her gloves to not get her hands dirty, she finds his graceful manners impressive. Our influencer believes it's very gentlemanly of her date to bring her to a roadside stall despite being wealthy, all to not pressure her. President Zhao starts imagining our hero as a prince. Yuan is shocked to see her favorability for him increase all of a sudden. His date takes a shrimp, extends her hand forward, and offers to peel the shrimp for him. As she proceeds to feed him shrimp, Lin Shutong, who just entered the cafe, is shocked at the sight. She turns to Junkai and tells him to go someplace else, making an excuse that the place is crowded. However, Junkai enjoys eating in crowded places and refuses to leave. A shadow covers Yuan while he enjoys food, and someone recognizes him. Junkai throws 500 wen at our MC and asks for his seat. Yuan stands confused and speechless, seeing Junkai's odd behavior. Junkai starts throwing in more money. Our hero looks towards his date and sees her burst in anger. He wonders if she's angry because he was provoked, but Zhao is angry because her perfect date was interrupted. Meanwhile, the arrogant intruder throws in more money. The waiter steps in, taking his money, and offers to find him a table. Junkai gets angry. He grabs the waiter by his clothes and tells him it's not about the table. Suddenly, a bag strikes Junkai in the face, and a huge woman walks out and confronts him for wearing her clothes, taking her car, and using her money to pick up girls. His arrogance now turns to fear as he sees Wei Xiaoqing. She calls him out for cheating on her behind her back, but the arrogant wannabe still pretends to play dumb. Junkai's arrogance turns into sweetness, and he tells his girlfriend that he can never cheat on her. He grabs Lin Shutong by her hair and starts blaming her for seducing him. She tries to tell the truth that he asked her out first, and Junkai slaps her in the face. As she sits on the ground looking helpless, he proceeds to strike her again. But then, our hero steps in and holds him back. Lin Shutong sees Yuan stand up for her, and her favorability for him increases by 20 points. The favorability points continue growing and break through 95 points, reversing the host. Lin Shutong is converted into the host's simp, rewarding 20 strengthening points. Yuan adds the 10 points to strength and the other 10 to physical fitness. He twists the cheater's arm. Junkai picks up a bottle from behind and runs towards our hero to attack him. But before he could even take a swing, our hero swings a punch and throws him flying. As he sits on the floor, Yuan confronts him for shamelessly hitting a woman. Junkai draws a knife out of his pocket. Zhao screams for Yuan out of concern. The arrogant wannabe runs to stab our hero, but Yuan just grabs him by his arm and throws him on the ground. Junkai lies on the floor, knocked out cold. The crowd is amazed by our hero's feat while he nonchalantly walks out. As he's walking out, Lin Shutong grabs Yuan's leg and begs for a chance to start over. Our protagonist reminds her that the Yuan who ran 10 kilometers in the emergency room for her, or the one who saved money for her phone that she rejected because it wasn't the latest one, or the one who always waited for her to return, that Yuan is long gone, and she chose it. At the end of the date, our gentleman hero apologizes to President Zhao for disturbing her dinner. She tells him to call her cheeky because the president is just too formal now, and assures him that she feels glad that she got to see a different side of him. However, Cheeky feels more intrigued by Yuan the more she looks at him, and she feels that he'll continue to surprise her. Shutong runs to her friend, soaked in rain and crying about Yuan. Rui thinks she's crying because she heard about the 10 million reward he gave to Zhao. However, this is the first time she's hearing about it. Rui assures her that the news is true, and Zhao's roommate Xiaofei said it himself. Shutong gets quiet for a moment and starts sobbing like a child again. While Shutong's sobs echo through the dormitory, Yuan's roommates are amazed to see him on top of the leaderboard. They're surprised to see him win 18 games in a row and think he's some low-key esports genius. Our MC is just as amazed to see his 20 attribute points improving his gaming skills too, but all he can tell his friends is that he's just good at games. While he goes to take a shower, his roommates advise him to become a live streamer and make millions. As Yuan takes a look in the mirror, he's impressed by how much the attribute points transformed his body. With his muscles and six-pack, our hero believes he could call himself the actor of his university. While he thinks about which woman is going to have the luck to be with him, his roommate calls him from outside to tell him his phone is ringing. As our protagonist picks up his phone, he sees that it's Zhu Lele calling. He thinks that she's calling him to use some new tactics of manipulation on him, but when he attends the call, all he can hear is her sobs. Zhu Lele, crying and sobbing, tells Yuan she feels helpless and asks him to lend her 500 yuan. Zhu Lele explains that her dad had a gambling problem, which led to him taking on a lot of debt. Her family now has to deal with high-interest loans every day. She cries that she's not materialistic, but she needs to pay off the debt. Yuan asks her to send her account number, which leaves her surprised. After sending the account number, she receives the money in her account. But when she starts counting it, she's confused to see 5 million instead of 500,000. Our MC assures her that it's fine and he accidentally added a zero. All of a sudden, Shulele's favorability starts growing tremendously. She starts sobbing and thanks her supporter for his help. However, Shulele's favorability stops at 94 points, which isn't good enough to win her. Yuan thinks about confessing but decides against it because the first person to reveal their feelings is often at a disadvantage. In a battle, the first person to change their stance is at a disadvantage, and our hero never moves first. The next day, Yuan stumbles upon Shutong as he's going towards his class. She tells him she's brought buns for him from the canteen and wants to go to class with him. Our hero's friends are all surprised, but their surprise only grows more when another girl brings him breakfast. Shulele walks in, bringing her seafood porridge that she cooked for Yuan. The two girls see each other in a competition and start giving each other a death stare. But then, another voice calls Yuan from behind, leaving everyone even more surprised. Zhao steps into the conversation, bringing beef noodles for Yuan, but her arrival is perceived by the other girls as stepping into the ring, ready to fight. The girls can feel the strong oppressive aura of their opponent. Yen is surprised to see that Zhao knows he likes beef noodles. However, from their previous date, Zhao guessed that he likes spicy food, and she knew a place that served authentic beef noodles. Our hero appreciates being cared for, and he's impressed by how she won just by focusing on the details. Zhao adds that considering the other person's choice is basic when one likes someone. All of a sudden, this statement comes like a powerful punch at the other girls. She then presents a gift to Yuan. The boys are shocked to see our hero get the latest model phone as a gift, but the thoughtful and expensive gift feels like a knockout punch to the other girls. Zhao can't afford much, but she brought the gift with good intentions, and so our hero accepts it. After Yuan walks away with Zhao, Shutong falls into despair once again. Realizing that winning back Yuan is nearly impossible now, she feels sad and disappointed, but then Zhu Lele calls her from behind. Shutong starts blaming her for everything, but then Shu Lele calms her down and offers an alliance. She reveals that she wants to form an alliance to take out Zhao, their common enemy. Wen thinks about how generous Zhao is for giving him such an expensive phone. Seeing him lost in his phone, she thinks he doesn't like it, but he assures her that he loves the gift. If it weren't for the 40 favorability points, our hero would think that his date has fallen for him. He's impressed by how sophisticated she is at making the prey think it's the hunter. Yuan realizes he needs to find a way to somehow push the progress further. Suddenly he receives a text from Xiaomi saying that she wants to meet him, but she's just afraid of the society. However, our MC is not going to accept an apology without any pictures. Right at that moment, he gets a notification from Dragon King, inviting him to a group of top-ranked anchors. Yuan's eyes glow with excitement seeing the legendary anchor group, and he accepts the invite. He introduces himself, and one of the anchors asks for his help in dealing with some business. Our protagonist knows they're testing him, and so he decides to play along. He adds Qingfeng privately and discusses the business with him in private. Qingfeng asks our hero if he wants to buy a villa in the Jiangkou district. Our hero knows that it's a wealthy area, and a villa must cost at least tens of millions there. He shows interest in buying it and tells his new acquaintance that he will visit the place tomorrow. Meanwhile, Qingfeng is shocked to see that Yuan is actually interested in buying the villa, and he may not be a fraud like they thought. The Dragon King believes that even if Yuan is not a fraud, it may be good for them to have rich friends. He tells Qingfeng to send him the villa address to find out more about him. As our wealthy hero receives the address, the first thought that pops into his head is how much favorability he would gain if he gave Zhao a villa. Getting out of the cab, Zhao is confused because our boy mysteriously brought her here, in front of a giant villa. However, this is when Hong Yuanqiao, with his assistant, welcomes Chen Yuan. Looking at our MC, Hong can't help but wonder if this guy is a hidden member of some famous family because he assumes Zhao has an extraordinary temperament. At the same time, he gets aware that at this point the negotiation won't go that well. Though they all greet each other, Hong reveals how because of his recent financial conditions, he has decided to sell this villa. With that, they all enter the villa. From inside, the villa looks magnificent. The building area of this villa is 500 square meters. In addition to that, the pool area is 2,000 square meters. Also, this interior is made by a famous designer, having custom-made furniture from Italy. On the other hand, this place gives the view of rivers and exceptional landscapes. Hong can't help but admit that if there was no problem of money, he would have never sold this place and buried himself here. Although after touring the whole place, Zhao's face literally turns red since this place is amazing and must be worth tens of millions. Since our boy likes this place, without beating around the bush, he questioned the bald old guy about the villa's worth. Without lying, this baldy doesn't lie. In addition to that, confesses how many people were interested in this place before Chen came. Though his asking price for this place is 50 million, to leave some room for negotiation, Hong demands 60 million for the place. Hearing it, the protagonist lets out a heavy sigh, which makes Hong assume that the price must be a lot. But the moment Chen informs them how cheap he finds it, Hong and his assistant's faces widen with shock and regret, because now he is just regretting having quoted a higher amount. Turning towards Zhao, our guy wants to know from his target if they should buy this house. At this moment, Zhao is confused because this girl thinks that she has no say on whether he should buy it or not. But when she gets to know that Chen is buying it to give it to her, she stutters with shock. Even the baldy is finding it unreal because who gives someone something that is worth 60 million? All of this makes Zhao wonder if our hero has this much money, and even if he does, this amount is way too much. Some doubts cross her mind. What if it is all a scam? Maybe later on Chen, with his gang or something, will torture her and will trick her into drinking truth serum. Hesitantly, Zhao refuses all of it, finding it too much. But this is when our hero, who is an expert when it comes to acting, holds her hand, explaining how there have been housing restrictions, and when it comes to him, he has too many properties under his name, so he wants to have this property under her name. Grabbing her closer to himself, he also confesses that he wants to give her a home. Upon hearing this, Zhao's cheeks grow warmer, yet she recalls that legal transfer of property ownership can only be done by married couples. She can't control her thoughts and imagines both of them lying on the bed, and now she even thinks that maybe Chen likes her or something. Her thoughts are interrupted when Chen declares what is hers as well. It was all it took for Zhao Yuqi's favorability to increase and go up to 90. Chen is so proud of himself. At this point, this guy truly deserves an Oscar. This is when Baldy's assistant pokes him, demands to know when she will get a house by him just like the protagonist gave it to Zhao. But Baldy is already in crisis, so this was like pouring salt into his wound. Later on, before leaving, our main lead hands Hong a down payment of 10 million. The rest will be given after the transfer is completed. Hong assures Chen to leave the transfer to him. It will be done in a few days. Just then, both Zhao and Chen leave, though Hong notices that Chen, having all this wealth, still takes a cab to exercise, comparable to wearing a disguise. Pressing forward in the cab, Chen reflects on Zhao's favorability, which is already at 90 points. Hence, the moment he finishes the dog-licking transformation with the amount of 70 million he spent on her, it will convert into 7 million cashback. Also, he will get the attribute point rewards too, since he spent 10 million on gifts as well. On the other hand, Zhao, being a bookworm, can't get out of her delusional world. At this point, Zhao thinks to confess, and she is literally making plans to get married to him in Milan or the Alps, being sure that he will be a good father. She is even thinking about the name of their child, being sad that when they grow old, he might get dementia and forget who she is. Her thoughts are interrupted when they get back, but Zhao is left behind because our player MC leaves, as he has to go to the internet cafe to play games. Standing at the roadside, Zhao is just disappointed, wondering what to do about her confession. Later on, Chen arrives at the internet cafe, but his friends are annoyed because Chen came late. They have even played a game already, and because he was not here, they lost. His friends tell him to hurry, as they have reserved a machine for him too. Going towards the counter, he tells his guys to just wait for him. At the counter, Chen places his card, asks for 4 packs of Likun cigarettes and 4 bottles of iced black tea. To his surprise, Shulele is working at the counter, which confuses him, but she reminds him that her father owns a chain of internet cafes, and this one is his. With that, she also thanks him, mentioning that the family's debt is clear because of him. Overwhelmed, Shulele is puzzled, unclear if she should treat him to a drink or give him a lifetime membership for this cafe. However, before Chen could refuse all of it, someone barged into a cafe with a baseball bat, demanding the money that Shu's father owed them. Scared and puzzled, Shulele mentions that she has already paid 5 million, but this scary guy declares that 5 million was principal and there is still an interest of 15 million short. Livid, Shulele calls a robber, but this guy has no hesitation as he grabs her hand. With that, threatens her to come with them if she can't pay 15 million today. He finds it a pretty good deal because Shulele is a beautiful girl, thus she will be the top performer of their nightclub. Chen grabs this robber guy and warns him to get out before he can get angry. Though this guy signals his small fries to attack Chen, the protagonist very swiftly hits the guy in return with a cyclone kick, leaving his friends shocked because they never thought their friend was that good in terms of fighting. Witnessing him fight, MC's friends are astonished as the game is turned into literal reality, as all these robbers are knocked out within seconds. Before leaving, the robber warns our hero to not run into him again, because today, according to this robber, our MC just got lucky. With that, the bully guys leave, and Julele runs up to Chen and hugs him since she was so scared, and once again he saved her. Just like that, Shulele's favorability reaches up to 95 points, and the counterattack is accomplished. Because of this, 530,000 wen has been rewarded, making Shulele the host's dog-licking target. Additionally, he has earned rewards, 5 strength points. While Shulele is hugging Chen, he can't help but feel lucky because today went according to his preference. Now he is focused on where the new strengthening points should be added. Though, immediately then, Shutong spots them hugging, so obviously she had to start their catfight. Seeing their fight, Chen becomes the audience and, without interrupting, decides to add all strengthening points to his agility. On the flip side, while Chen disappears, his friends try to lighten up the situation. At the playground, Chen is planning to search for some new targets because when it comes to Shulele and Shutong, they have been pursued pretty easily. Even Zhao Yuqi will not be a problem either. Hence, he needs to find some people. Otherwise, he will fall into the predicament of having no one to lick. In an instant, an attractive girl, He Jiying, pats Chen on the shoulder, suggesting he move aside, as he is bothering others, due to the fact that the playground has been registered by her sports club for a short sprint competition. Looking at her, Chen is lost in his thoughts for some time. Our boy finds the girl attractive, Maybe she is his next target. So without hesitating, the MC takes out his phone and requests that she add him on WeChat if she wants him to leave. He Jing is a little confused, but before she could respond, Li Yuang, who is her boyfriend, intervenes, demanding Chen to back off, declaring that he is her boyfriend. Seeing his attitude, Chen recalls that this is the same guy who used to be a bully to Chen, even beat the shit out of him for pursuing a girl he liked. Even when Chen says nothing, Li Yuang keeps telling Chen to know his place. Chen smirks when the girl leaves with her boyfriend. Although Chen has no room for strangers, he begins the licking dog action with He Jing. When the favorability of this girl also reaches up to 95 points, 10% licking dog gold will be rewarded with 22 strengthening points. Outside the track, Li Yuang, with other opponents, is ready for the competition. He looks towards the audience and gives a smirk to his girlfriend, who is cheering for her so-called husband. The moment the sprint begins, Li Yuang is evidently way faster than everybody else, but this is when his gaze darts ahead. The guy is even faster than Li Yuang, which makes this tough talker nervous. Little does he know, the guy he bullied in his high school is ready to give him tough competition, whether it comes to winning this match or his girlfriend. In the blink of an eye, the lead leaves Li Yuang behind, promising himself to defeat this bully in his own field. At this point, the tough talker has gotten nervous, but then he remembers his seal-released abilities, which he cannot underestimate. Activating his left foot, Li Yuang, who doesn't recall who our boy is ready to show him where he stands. Before he could finish thinking all this, he looked around, couldn't find Chen, who was in front of him seconds ago. His eyes widen with shock when Chen moves past him from behind because he lapped Li Yuang by a whole round within seconds. While running, our hero smirks, since Li Yuang's training of 10 years cannot be compared to the skill points Chen has accumulated in a week. The whole field goes crazy after witnessing our MC's speed, as in just a mere 50 seconds, he has already circled the playground and won the race. At this moment, He Jing is taken aback, as she was not expecting that her boyfriend would lose. The audience goes wild, picking him up and cheering for Chen. The announcer announces the record that has been made, which literally crosses the limits of human capabilities. Though everyone is curious because the hero is not even a registered participant, and they all know nothing about him. A few coaches approach the MC, offering him to join the track and field team, recommending him for the national team. Hearing this, the tough talker acts like a crybaby because these offers were for him some time ago. Not giving zero shits, Chen refuses all the offers. Now even He Jing notices Chen and realizes how brave he is. This turns Jing's favorability up to 5 points. Just then, Li Yuang approaches Jing and notices her lost in thoughts, so he calls out for her, making sure she is okay. Jing lies, saying that she is worried for her so-called husband, but in reality, the favorability keeps increasing by 5 points. Back at her place, Xiao Fi was waiting for Zhao Yuqi. The moment she enters the place, Xiao questions where she was. Excited, Zhao brags about how Chen has brought her a house. Upon receiving this information, Xiao instantly stands up in shock. Elaborating further, Zhao informs Xiao that the house is worth 60 million, though she requests Xiao to help her check the house prices in Jiangku because she won't be sparing the baldy and fat guy if he has played some tricks with Chen and her. At this point, Xiao wonders why she can't encounter such good luck, feeling a bit jealous. However, she decides to help Zhao, who is on cloud 9 right now. Therefore, Xiao opens her phone, freezes since a post is going viral everywhere about Chen being a scumbag, having many relationships. Seeing this news, the girls are shocked and confused. Lao Zhou shows this post to Chen too. This really makes him question himself if he actually looks like a scumbag, as he is a money-splitting boy, calling this an accusation. Simultaneously, Chen is now in detective mode, wondering who could be bothered by him right now as he is going high profile these days. In contrast, 3 dudes have posted this. They are finding it unreal, as they themselves never thought that the post would go this viral. However, this post has definitely ruined Chen's reputation. They are very happy about it. Behind this, Li Yuang stands, curious, because they have literally drawn curtains and turned off the lights in broad daylight. The tough talker's friends explain that they are dealing with a guy in the School of Liberal Arts who has been very arrogant recently. Upon seeing the post, Li Yuang was surprised since he recognized Chen from the earlier sprint race. A smirk appears on the tough talker's face when he recalls that our MC is the same guy he used to bully. It is thrilling to him that they went to the same school, and because of this, he has interesting information about him. Li Yuang claims that the protagonist is not even worthy of being a good guy and must be harassing girls. Sitting in between the 3 dudes, the tough talker reveals stuff about Chen being a dog licker. He also accuses him of harassing girls. The more he speaks, the more these 3 dudes enjoy it. Also, they write it down on their notes to make another post about him and ruin him. At this point, Li Yuang doesn't care if Chen won the game or the coaches approached him, because now he just wants to destroy him. These 3 dudes make another post about Chen from HU University being a womanizer who is literally harassing them. It claims he is involved with multiple women at the same time, manipulates and disrespects them. With that, some allegations are made that women don't talk to him of their own will, and because they get threatened, they have to talk to him. The post also accuses him of having a bad character in high school, where he approached hundreds of girls and stayed after them even when they had boyfriends. This post goes so viral that everyone reads it. Even the principal of the university is livid, throwing his secretary's phone, declaring to not let such students study here who have a bad reputation. He decides to personally investigate it, and if it is true, he will expel these kinds of students. While he is angry, the secretary is crying for his broken phone. The principal of the WHO has started investigating personally. He hears girls calling him a special person who comes from a famous family, having extraordinary wealth, but still he is kind and willing to help others, always looking out for people in need. The authorities get to know about the MC turning into a knight at night who punishes evil people. According to Zhao Yuqi, she finds him a hero. Being informed about this, the people interrogating her are shocked, demanding to know how she is coming to this conclusion. Zhao being Zhao explains that she is going with her woman's intuition. Afterward, Chen's testimony is studied by the principal's secretary. He believes that Zhao Yuqi is a little weird, but being a vice president of the student union, she wouldn't lie, and it definitely means that all that stuff about Chen are just rumors. The principal has taken this personally. Hearing all these praises about Chen is giving him an inferiority complex, and he can't digest the fact that someone can be better than him, so he commands the secretary to inquire of Chen's classmates once again. Taking the principal's command, the investigation team arrives at Shutong's place to take her with them in order to get some help in investigating. Arriving at Hu University, Shotong is sobbing so badly, declaring that Chen is a good guy but she was not good enough for him. She admits how greedy she is for vanity and works all the damn time. Thus, Chen is not choosing her. The investigating guy is confused as hell by seeing this girl whining. He gets more shocked since she keeps praising him even after he rejected her. All this conversation can be heard by the principal, who leaves the place. Alone, the principal is smoking on the first floor, looking out of the window, doubting that maybe he is wrong. Chen is actually innocent, though his gaze shifts towards the gate of the campus, where two people are presenting a banner. Curious, the principal approaches them. It is Shulele and her father. Shulele's father greets the principal. Hence, the principal questions them about the reason for their arrival. Opening the banner, Shulele reveals that she is from the art department, came today to present a banner to Chen from the literature college. Shulele's father elaborates on how he has helped their family a lot, so he deserves it. The moment these words reach the principal's ear, his jaw drops because he doesn't understand why everything is about Chen lately. After seeing these two people, the principal strongly believes that whatever stuff is going viral about Chen might be gravely false. Thus, he decides to take a look at those posts again, but instead, he witnesses girls going crazy for Chen, claiming if Chen is a scumbag, they can have a dozen scumbags like him. The girls have posted videos of Chen winning the sprint race. All these girls are literally fangirling over our boy. Some talk about his healing smile, while others think that it must be the work of some insecure guy to put an amazing guy down. Reading all this, the principal presses his palm against his forehead, puzzled. The principal is now literally having sympathy for Chen, assuming that he must be a really nice boy in his high school, where girls must have acted like bees running for honey, so obviously when other guys saw it, they got jealous. Maybe some of them must have done this. He even imagines our MC having a hard time learning stuff, because the teacher might have had a hard time teaching someone this good. Imagining all this, tears gather in the principal's eyes, and he vows to himself to bring justice for Chen because he is the genius of Hu University, and he will not bear this unfair treatment. Afterwards, on the stage with Chen, the principal gathered up all the students of the campus. He announces the latest incident of the news spreading across the forum about Chen, though he assures everyone that he has investigated everything. According to his analysis, all that stuff are just mere rumors about Chen. Pulling Chen closer towards himself, the principal states that our boy is not having a good lifestyle, but he is someone who actively helps others and fights for justice. The principal dramatically cries while clearing Chen's name, making him a role model for every student, hoping that all of them would act the way he does. In addition to that, the dramatic guy hands Chen a certificate as a reward for his bravery. Confused, Chen takes it, but our MC is puzzled as hell since he has never shown any courage, nor has he willingly helped someone. The students cheer for their fellow students, but Li Wang stands there, acting all grumpy. This tough talker is so jealous that he thinks that the principal is blind, and all of this happening is foolish because the one who deserves to receive these applause and certificates should be him. Right then, Li Wang's attention shifts to He Jiying when he hears her calling our boy handsome and clapping for him so energetically. Because of this, Jiying's favorability increases by more than 10 points. This tough talker is demanding an explanation from Jiying, confronting her about how he saw her applauding for that guy. Jiying is pissed because he is being jealous for no reason, as she was just having genuine admiration for the protagonist, and obviously he has done such good stuff, so praising someone like him is not bad. Giggling, Jiying recalls that he even beat Li Wang at the game he is best at, and rather than being arrogant, he just left without caring about the offers that were there for him. Hearing her shower our MC with praise, Li Yuang is enraged. In an instant, he grabs Jiying's wrist, claiming that he is himself way better than Chen, who is a useless dog, so it doesn't matter if he got offers from the coaches. He mentions that this society only values people with influence and money, and Li Yuang's dad is richer than Chen, so it doesn't matter if he won. The tough talker is filled with so much anger and rage that he doesn't even notice how he is hurting his own girlfriend by grabbing her wrist so harshly. On the other hand, our main guy tells Lao Hong to drive in, as he wants to keep a low profile in school, so he shouldn't come to pick him up in an expensive car. While fighting, both Jiying and Li Yuang are out of the campus, but they pause when they spot Chen standing in front of an overly expensive car. Chen reminds Hong that he asked him not to drive such a fancy car, but still he came with it. Hong assures him that she will listen to him the next time and will be more mindful. Just then, Chen leaves with Baldy, and Jiying breaks up with Li Yuang after seeing all this. At this point, the tough talker is literally traumatized because of the loss, but Jiying doesn't understand why it is affecting him that much, because they were not even that close. At the bank, Chen transfers the rest of the 50 million amount to Baldy, who is going crazy after getting the money. When the payment's settled, our hero heads back to school, deciding to take a cab instead of going back to school in Hong's fancy car. On his way back, while walking, our boy is strategizing to give something else to Zhao Yuqi because reaching full favorability is important, as it will make him earn a 25-point attribute bonus. To impress her even more, Chen decides to look up and see what more things Baldy is selling. In the chatting group, our guy reads how Baldy is being so nice. Thus he keeps complimenting Chen for helping him, but Chen sends him a text, letting him know it is fine, as it was a very small favor. In the group, someone asks our MC if he wants a car as well, as this guy has connections. Once he reads the text, Chen's eyes widen with a new plan, as now he can give Zhao Yuqi a car too. Zhang Haotian introduces himself to Chen. Zhang Haotian's family runs a small business. Zhang Haotian himself manages a car dealership. This rich guy hands Chen his card, by which he gets to know that it is a local enterprise, and his surname, Zhang, is a rich second generation. Impressed, our boy praises Haotian for handling such a business at a small age by calling him brother, but Haotian tells him not to be formal and to call him Xiao Zhanger. He even admits how he thought Chen would be an uncle when he heard Baldy talking about him, but to his surprise, Chen is young too. While both the guys talk, the secretaries of the place are shocked to see the money bag personally receiving Chen. They think that our boy might be a wealthy tycoon or something, hence this is the reason Haotian is dealing with him personally. While Chen looks around, Haotian brags of how this place is the biggest in the city, and Chen can find anything he wants here. But the moment Chen demands a Bugatti Chiron, the money bag is left speechless. Nervously, he explains how it is a luxury car with a limited edition of 20 units in the world. Hearing that, our hero demands a Lamborghini Veneno, or maybe a Pagani Huayra Roadster, but the more he demands, the more it feels like a personal attack to Haotian, because these vehicles they deal with here range from 2 million to 9 million. This makes the protagonist realize that this money bag doesn't really have that much of a vast business. But Haotian is ready to unveil his trump card. Assuming that our boy buys houses worth 10 million, it doesn't mean he can afford cars of the same value, so he reveals another brand new car, a Ferrari LaFerrari, which features a 6.3-liter V12 naturally aspirated engine, capable of having a power output of 588 kilowatts. Its total price is 22.5 million yuan. Now Haotian waits for our boy's response. Chen reflects on how this Ferrari is not that expensive but still not considered cheap, and it will be okay to gift this to Zhao Yuqi. Thus, patting his hand on the moneybag's shoulder, our guy seals the deal since this car is worth over 20 million. Chen instructs Haotian to deliver this car to Hancheng Riverside Villa community. No. 1. The moment our guy gives his card to Haotian, he is taken aback, as he was not expecting that Chen would agree. Immediately after that, Chen gets a call from Liu Wenjie. Confused, he picks up a call, hears his friend screaming and ranting that he has been cheated on. On the birthday of the protagonist's friend, his girlfriend told him that she's going to do her nails along with her friends. When she gets quite late and the rain starts to pour heavily, he gets worried about her and rushes out of his house with an umbrella. However, what he sees tears him apart, as his girlfriend is kissing another guy. MC's friend continues to describe the situation to the MC, saying that he can't believe how they were enjoying themselves in the rain happily, while he stood there drenched like a drowning rat. Bottle after bottle, he continues to chug down Pocari drink, a sports drink, while crying out his pain. When he mentions how he was going to take her to meet her parents since they'd been together for 3 years, our boy asks him to stop drinking. Instead of listening to the protagonist, his friend asks him about whether there's a way of winning the girl back, but it angers the MC, and he yells at him not to become her licking dog when she is in the wrong. When the guy can't seem to accept the reality, our boy decides to help him out by clearing his mind and asks him if he thinks that his girlfriend just made an impulsive mistake. However, the guy stays silent out of devastation. So to ease his worries, MC decides to take matters into his own hands and makes a call. Upon being asked about whom he's calling, MC asks the guy to let him handle everything from now on, since he is going to make his girlfriend kneel before him and repent. The person whom the MC calls turns out to be the owner of the Jang Group. Our boy asks to borrow a few cars that'd be worth a few million each. He further asks him to also send a few trustworthy friends of his to drive those cars over. Once the owner of Jang Group agrees to make sure all is done well, MC hangs up, leaving his friend puzzled about the conversation he just heard. However, without taking a look at his friend, our boy then calls the art college girl to come over and meet him tonight as he tells her the location. Seeing the protagonist act so confident, his friend can now clearly notice the change that has occurred in him. At night, the art college girl arrives to meet him outside a restaurant and hugs him dearly while confessing about how much she missed him. Once they enter the restaurant accompanied by MC's friend, he can't believe how the protagonist managed to call over such an 8'10" girl by a single call, and doubts whether he's the same licking dog whom he knows. While the girl continues to pamper our boy and pours him a drink, he turns to his friend and introduces him to the girl. This makes the girl wonder why our boy called her out to introduce her to his friend so late at night. Thus, she leads herself into the delusion of being in the heart of the MC. However, our boy reveals to her that he called her over to help him with an act the upcoming day. On their way back home, the green-haired guy, also known as Brother Ma, reminds Jiajia not to be sad and promises to buy her a new bag for her birthday within a few days. After hearing this, Jiajia reminds Ma to not let her down in the future, considering the years of relationship. Suddenly, a red Ferrari races from behind and overtakes the guy's car, making Ma press on the brakes. Afterwards, he becomes furious over the reckless driving and shouts, but his anger quickly fades and his attention shifts towards the girl who gets down from the car. He can't help but drool over the beauty and the perfect body of the girl standing in front of him, and his eyes get fixed on the girl's curves. From the same car, Wenji steps out dressed like a wealthy man wearing a long fur coat and gold jewelry. When Wenji's ex-girlfriend and her current boyfriend see him with another girl and looking like a wealthy man, they can't believe that he's the same guy and wonder if he is some hidden rich second generation. The art college girl acts in front of them, complaining to Wenji about Ma, the current boyfriend of Wenji's ex-girlfriend, that he just hit their car. After hearing this, Wenji acts along and reminds her that it doesn't matter because he will just buy a new car for her if this one gets damaged. However, his ex-girlfriend, Jiajia, immediately catches his lie and yells at him, asking if he's acting here for her. But Wenji doesn't pay attention to her words and regards her voice as a barking dog. After that, he asks the art college girl to get back into the car. Even so, Jiajia doesn't stop and states that she's known him for ages. Moreover, she also knows all of his family background, and also admits that she was wrong. Later, she puts the blame on Wenji as well, adding that his performance is completely ridiculous. The protagonist and Jang Group's owner sit in a car near them and listen to the conversation between them. When Jang Group's owner expresses his worry over getting their act blown, MC tells him not to panic since the real show is yet to begin. Moving ahead, all the car owners get out of the cars, and among the car owners, Brother Bai comes out and recognizes Wenji. After acknowledging Wenji's existence there, he walks over to him, asking if the guy remembers him. Brother Bai then swings one arm around Wenji's shoulder and the other around his girlfriend's shoulder, telling her that if he told her about his family owning a coal mine and his studies in America, it's all lies, because in reality, Wenji is a habitual liar who pretends to be wealthy to deceive women into bed. Additionally, Bai locks Wenji's head in a deadlock, which makes the guy beg him to be spared while Wenji's girlfriend stares at him in horror. After a while, Bai Qilin walks back to his car, expressing his disbelief over how there are still naive girls who fall into the lousy trap of his. Further, the man even calls the girl unsuitable for wealthy people and gets into his car. When Brother Ma gets caught for his lies, his girlfriend, Jiajia, yells at him while calling him names for being worse than even animals. Wenji gets sad over seeing his ex-girlfriend getting treated unfairly, yet he asks the art college girl to get back into the car. Seeing him turn to his car, Jiajia runs to Wenji and gets on her knees, begging him not to leave her behind. Also, she claims that she doesn't admire vanity and is only afraid of being poor, so she pleads with him to give her another chance. Nevertheless, he turns away from her and forbids her to contact him since the two of them have broken up from today. On the other hand, Brother Ma tries to sneak away when he sees his seniors busy in a conversation. As he turns around, he gets hit by our boy's chest, who demands he slap himself 100 times if Ma wants to leave. All the guys go to the club at night and cheer over getting to meet our boy. Yan thanks them for their help, but they ask him not to be too formal with them. After scooting closer, Bai Qilin claims that he knows Yan is a master on the Shark Live platform and asks him for a favor. Upon asking what it is, Bai explains to our boy that he has a favorite streamer whom he wants to support, but the problem is that he has run out of money. Therefore, he asks about getting some money for that. The protagonist immediately catches on to the fact that, just like the other wealthy folks, this man is also trying to test his abilities to underestimate him. But before he can say something, the Jang Group's owner tells the man that supporting his favorite streamer is his own responsibility, and tells MC that Bai is just joking with him. After that, Yan gets on his nerves and slams his glass on the table. As the drink gets spilt out of the cup, all of them look towards him and wonder what he's going to do. Ignoring everyone's reaction, the main character takes out his phone, unlocks it, and slides it across the table towards the wealthy folks. As he does so, he announces that if it is just about gifts, then they can freely use his account as they want while he's gone to the bathroom. Instructing them not to be generous with his money and spend it freely, he turns around and walks away, leaving everyone confused about what just happened. Bai Chilin picks up our boy's phone from the table, but he can't believe that Yan just trusted him this much with his phone, and quickly opens the Shark Live platform and decides to spend freely as he's allowed to. Thinking about how it's better that the man didn't ask him to pay the bill, our boy enters the restroom. He feels relieved that it's just about paying for gifts since it's the system that pays for it anyways. Thus, once he's done with using the restroom, he returns to his table and gets confused to see everyone gathered in a circle around Bai Qilin. He hears them cheering up Bai Qilin to go beyond 1003, so MC walks closer to them. As the figure continues to increase, he makes his way from the crowd to the Bai Qilin and asks him about their excitement and commotion. With tears in his eyes, Bai Qilin gives MC's phone back to him, saying something about saving the child. Upon looking at the phone, the protagonist mocks the man for only gaining less than 20 million, even though our boy has been gone for too long. Hearing him say that, everyone looks at him with envy, wondering what his identity is to be richer than the banks. On the other hand, Bai Qilin claims that he earns a few tens of thousands on a regular day. But the thought of surpassing 13 million and brushing out several sports cars is tearing his heart apart. Not listening to what the man is saying, MC asks if 20 million would be good enough to send to that live streamer, but decides to round it off to 60 million. However, before he can send it, Bai Qilin asks him to stop and takes away the phone from his hand by saying that it's enough since the girl doesn't really deserve that much money. Once he finally admits MC's divine skills, the Jang Group owner smirks at him, telling him to quickly raise his glass to the MC. Thus, he promises to genuinely surrender from now on, and to follow the lead of the MC. A group of girls near their table notices the commotion. Upon looking at their table, they notice our boy standing there with charisma and wonder if he's someone influential, because they know the Bai Qilin is from a real state, and yet he's toasting to MC. To another girl, it seems like a gathering of the elite second generation in the top circles of Seoul, and she dreams of a worry-free life if she gets to join any of them. Among those girls, a girl recognizes our boy and states that he is that same mysterious person who went viral for brushing 1 billion. Suddenly, the protagonist's phone lights up with a message, so he excuses himself from the group, promising to meet them another time, as he's got something to attend to. Seeing him walk away, the guys on the table wonder if MC left early just to avoid the bill. The owner of Jang Group scolds him by questioning if he thinks that our boy would struggle to settle the bill for a table of drinks despite his wealth, and commands him to be mindful of his words. The text that made the protagonist leave the club is none other than Shark Live's streamer. She had informed him about his arrival in Seoul, so they decided to meet the next day. MC smirks at the screen of his phone as he plans to reap a harvest of goodwill since he had left her hanging for so long. The next day, when the Shark Live's streamer arrives in Seoul, she decides not to take the meeting too seriously since she can just exude a little charm on him, and then no matter how much of a wealthy man he has become, he'll just end up being another catch in her fish pond. The next morning, while sitting across from the Shark Live streamer on a breakfast date, MC receives a text from his ex-girlfriend, who is asking him to start over. Apparently, she is claiming to have seen him in a dream last night and explains the luxuries they enjoyed as a married couple. She even begs him to forgive her and take her back, but annoyed by her greed, our boy deletes her chat and blocks her contact. When the streamer girl notices him being busy with his phone and asks about it, masking the real thing, he just says that someone is thinking about shit and asks her what she was just talking about. This reminds her of his boss's scoldings when he instructed her to capture our boy at any cost. Driven by the confidence in her beauty, she can't believe how he's acting so indifferent in front of her. She puts on an innocent smile and begins to compliment the protagonist's wealth. Right then, he checks her favorability points towards himself, and is shocked to his core when he finds out that the points are too high to bind the licking dog relationship. Therefore, he decides to lower the favorability points first and starts acting weird. He starts picking out his nose, saying that he's just an unemployed wanderer. Upon hearing his answer, she confusedly asks him if he's really jobless since it seems like he's running some business, because there's no other way that he's so confident in lavishly spending his money. Rubbing his dirty finger onto the tablecloth, he claims to have been spending his father's money all along. Furthermore, he declares that his father's company has gone bankrupt. Thus, the reason he has come to meet her is to ask her if Xiaomie can refund a portion of the money he spent on her gifts. While saying this, he holds her hand, and this disgusts her enough to make her favorability points decrease by 20. As Xiaomier shoves him away, she yells at him for acting rich when he's just broke and calls him a disappointing man for asking for a refund for gifts. Her favorability points continue to decrease, and she gets up to leave. While she calls another guy to pick her up, lying about a man bothering her, MC looks at her with a sarcastic smile. He thinks about how much it's his first time seeing such a shameless woman. After a while, a purple-haired guy storms into the coffee shop, asking about who's bothering his woman when he's the one to run this territory in Seoul. Upon seeing him, Xiaomier runs over to him while lying about how there's a pervert who even grabbed her hand. However, instead of hugging her, he walks past her. When she angrily looks back at where he's going, she's shocked to see him excitedly walking over to our boy and shaking hands with him, as if they've known each other for years. Seeing Lan greeting him so dearly, the MC confusedly questions him about who he is. Pointing at his own face, the guy tries to make our boy remember how he came to the MC last night to toast him after Baikilin. Once the MC recognizes him, the guy expresses his regret over not getting to share more drinks with him, and since they have met here now, he tells the MC that it's on him. The live streamer's eyes remain wide open as she tries to make sense of the politeness of the purple-haired man who's a top-tier rich second generation in Seoul, with numerous well-connected and influential industries. When she confusedly walks over to the guy to ask him about it, he calls her stupid by revealing that MC's so rich that he can even bury her whole family alive. Upon getting to know this, she can't understand why our boy said all those things to her just now, until it clicks to her that he must have been testing her sincerity. Once the girl realizes that she has lost the opportunity, she decides to reclaim the moment and apologizes to the protagonist right away. This makes the dog-licking relationship bound between them, and her title received 25 strengthening points. Given the situation, MC forgives her as he states that he was only joking with her but she's too young. His nonchalant behavior makes her favorability points increase once again while she thanks him. Smirking internally, MC acknowledges how she really is a professional anchor and decides not to let her go, because as long as he has money, her favorability points are only going to increase towards him. Lan once again expresses his anger by yelling at the girl for treating MC to foreign soy milk when he has helped her boost her popularity. Therefore, the guy then turns to our boy and offers to treat him to a good restaurant as a host. When the two of them then walk to their cars to head to another restaurant, the girl runs after them, saying that she wants to go too. The three of them get into the car, and the girl immediately clings onto MC's arm, asking him about whether he's still angry with her. Without looking at her, he claims that he isn't angry and that she's just being too worried. With that said, he takes out his phone and opens Shark Live, which makes her curious about what he's going to do. As she looks closely, he opens a live stream of another woman and begins to send her gifts non-stop, which shocks her to the core. An increasing number of rockets appear on the screen. The newbie streamer feels completely overwhelmed as she tries to count the rockets. The number keeps going up so fast that she cannot follow it, and her thoughts go blank. The amount of money spent is something she has never seen in her entire life, and she almost faints on the spot. Her sister becomes frightened and starts to panic. She tells the people around her to quickly call 120, saying that her sister has never seen so much money before. Next to the MC is the clingy streamer. She watches the MC carefully. Her eyes stay on him as he keeps tapping his phone screen, giving out virtual gifts again and again. She thinks to herself that this is the first time she has ever seen someone receive gifts at this kind of speed. Even if someone else could tap their screen this fast, no one would ever have this much money to support it. The more she watches, the stronger her thoughts grow. She regrets that if she had taken her chance earlier, this money could have been hers instead of going to someone else. She thinks that the MC is clearly teasing her on purpose. Her thoughts begin to get out of hand, and she even imagines things between herself and the MC. Because of this, her favorability toward him increases by 60 points. The protagonist notices the way she is looking at him. He thinks that her affection for him is rising, even though he is only sending out gifts to others without any other meaning. After this, they arrive at the destination. The host greets them and introduces the place proudly. It is the most famous private restaurant in Seoul, known as Black Pearl. The restaurant holds 3 stars and is famous for its luxury and its strict members-only reservation system. This ensures that privacy and exclusivity are guaranteed to all guests who enter. The host then explains that the restaurant is also known for 3 main highlights that make it truly unique. The MC listens and then speaks, saying that one of the highlights must be the outstanding food, and the second one must be the unique scenery. He then asks what the last one could be. The host praises him and says that he is truly experienced to guess the first 2 so easily. He explains that now it is time to reveal the third highlight. In the distance, a beautiful woman is sitting and playing an instrument. The host explains that the third highlight of Black Pearl is the campus girl, the daughter of the boss of the restaurant. The campus girl suddenly looks up and sees the MC. Recognition flashes across her face, and she calls out his name. The MC stutters in surprise and calls out her name in return. But the campus girl then notices the hand of the clingy streamer, which is holding onto the MC's hand tightly. Her favorability instantly decreases by 5 points. She breaks the instrument with her knee, shocking the 3 people in front of her. She looks back at the MC with tears in her eyes before she storms away in anger. The MC curses in his heart. He thinks the campus girl had been so close to making a counterattack. But now, at the most critical moment, everything seems to be collapsing and might overturn completely. The protagonist does not hesitate and quickly follows her. He manages to catch up to her and corners her against a wall, pressing both of his hands to block her path. The campus girl cannot hold back her emotions any longer. She lets out her frustration and screams at him with tears streaming down her face, saying that he has been toying with her feelings. She shouts again, telling him to let her go. The MC thinks to himself that if this continues, the sensitivity will be lost, and the chance to turn things around will slip away. He tells himself that he has no choice now but to take the risk. He looks at the campus girl with a serious face and asks her if she has ever watched To the Fore. She cries in anger, tears in her eyes, and screams that she is talking about his affair, not about movies. The MC calmly says that he is the tomato tycoon she is talking about. He pulls out a lighter, sparks it, and lights a cigarette in front of her. She stares at him in disbelief. He breathes out smoke and says that she should already know that he has an extraordinary family background. He explains that she must be wondering why he has been living such a normal life despite it. He keeps his posture cool and continues to speak. He says that in the secluded family he belongs to, there is an unwritten rule. Once the heir turns 18, they must spend 10 billion within 1 month in order to inherit the entire 50 billion family fortune. For that reason, he works hard to spend the money carefully, engaging in investments, charitable work, and even environmental protection activities. The MC then explains the situation about the streamer from earlier. He says that the girl was only someone he tipped because he needs to keep spending money. To make it appear natural, he had to stage a little drama. He then takes the campus girl's hand gently and says that this secret is known only to her. He does not expect her to fully understand it, but this secret has weighed on him for too long. His voice grows sad as he tells her to take care and says goodbye before turning to leave. The campus girl stands frozen for a moment. Hearing his words, her tears begin to fall down her cheeks. She thinks to herself that she has been causing unnecessary trouble for him. She realizes that he has been working so hard, struggling with the inheritance of his family fortune, and she cannot believe she doubted him. She suddenly runs forward and hugs him from behind, crying as she clings to him. She shouts that she does not want to say goodbye, calling out his name and begging him not to leave. She admits that it was her mistake for wrongly accusing him. In her heart, she tells herself that he honestly revealed secrets about his family inheritance, and that this proves he truly cares about her. Her favorability rises by 20 points, reaching a total of 92. The two of them return hand in hand. The campus girl speaks softly, saying that there is no need to apologize. She admits that her mood was off earlier, and that it affected everyone's meal. She declares that the MC's friends are also her friends, and she will cover the meal tonight. The host cannot hold back his amusement and shouts that it only took 5 minutes to sort everything out. He laughs loudly and says that our boy is really impressive. The clingy streamer's expression darkens. She bites her finger in anger and thinks to herself that the campus girl is acting all high and mighty. She hates how the campus girl is making it look like she is already his wife, even though the outcome is still uncertain. Everyone sits down at the table, where plates of delicious food are served. The clingy streamer tries to act cute as she asks the protagonist why he has not introduced the sister to them yet. She wants to know who the campus girl is to him. The MC stays silent, watching the two girls begin to compete. The campus girl smiles mockingly and speaks first. She says that calling him brother is too much when the clingy streamer does not even know his real name. She tells her that it is better not to call him brother for now. She adds that the MC is probably even younger than her, judging by his age. The words hit hard. The tension at the table grows too strong, making the host break into a sweat. He thinks to himself that this is no ordinary clash. The campus girl is far too powerful. This is not even a fair battle. It is a complete one-sided domination. The campus girl feels proud for gaining the upper hand, her smile showing how pleased she is. She has clearly managed to provoke the clingy streamer. The protagonist senses the growing tension and quickly steps in to stop the fight. He speaks lightly, saying that they should eat since he is hungry. At this moment, the two girls are like fire and water, glaring at each other with burning hostility. Yet, when they hear the MC's words, they both temporarily stop, huffing softly in anger and turning their faces away from each other. The host watches in shock at the MC's calmness. He thinks to himself that the protagonist did not even get angry, which shows that his methods are truly mysterious and skillful. In his mind, he describes the two women. One is the famous shark anchor, a wealthy star with countless fans and influence. The other is a renowned local talent, a woman with ambitions reaching higher than the sky. And yet the MC managed to control both of them effortlessly. The host becomes even more impressed and concludes that our boy's methods have already surpassed the so-called art of charming women. To him, the protagonist seems like a male succubus, able to draw people in with just his presence. At first, he was only charmed by the MC's wealth, but now he feels like the MC has also become his spiritual idol. Overcome with emotion and determined, he even shouts aloud that he will follow the protagonist to the death, leaving the MC confused by his sudden declaration. Later, back at Huda campus, The MC thinks to himself that the restaurant they had just been to was extremely expensive. Luckily, it was not him who had paid the bill. His thoughts then shift toward money, and his strategy progress. Curious, he checks his system to see the current situation. The system reports that both his ex-girlfriends and the art college girl's pursuits have been fully completed. Then it shows the campus girl's status, revealing that her favorability is now at 91, while the clingy streamer's favorability is at 92. Both remain unfulfilled but are already very high. The protagonist wonders if this means it is time to push forward more aggressively and make bigger moves. As he scrolls through the system, his eyes land on an unexpected entry. His former bully's girlfriend now shows a favorability of 76. He is surprised, thinking back to how it was only 25 not long ago. He cannot help but ask himself if his charm has grown so much that it could raise her feelings this quickly. While he is still checking the system, two guys rush past him, running excitedly. He overhears them saying that someone is confessing to a girl downstairs. One of them laughs and calls it a pure love warrior charging into battle for love. The MC smiles mischievously at this and thinks that a pure love warrior sounds interesting indeed. He follows the noise and arrives at the dormitory area, where a huge crowd has gathered. At the center, surrounded by flickering candles arranged in the shape of a heart, his former bully is performing a grand display. With an electric guitar in hand, someone is singing corny lines to add to the atmosphere. Then, in front of everyone, the bully kneels, holding a bouquet of roses, and starts confessing loudly. The former bully admits that he was wrong, saying he should not have been mean or treated his girlfriend with cold violence. The crowd cheers and shouts for her to forgive him. He continues to speak about their beautiful past, begging her to give him another chance. The crowd grows louder, chanting together for them to patch up. But the former bully's girlfriend's expression is far from happy. She looks angry, as if the grand display only makes her feel worse. The MC squeezes through the gathered students and recognizes the kneeling boy. With amusement, he realizes it is his former bully, the same guy who had stumbled before. Seeing this awkward attempt at romance, the MC cannot help but laugh in his mind, thinking that this scene looks more like a poorly rehearsed ex-lover drama than a genuine confession. The former bully's girlfriend suddenly notices the MC standing in the crowd. Her eyes widen, her face flushes red, and without a second thought, she throws away the bouquet her boyfriend is holding. She turns and runs straight toward the MC, leaving the former bully frozen in shock. The bully is left broken in the middle of the crowd. Tears and snot stream down his face as he screams desperately, calling Jiying's name, begging her not to leave, crying out that he is right there. His voice cracks, but no matter how much he cries, the girl does not even look back. The bully's now ex-girlfriend appears before the MC with a bright, almost desperate excitement. She calls out his name, saying she has finally found him, declaring that today must be her lucky day. She quickly takes out her phone, leaving the MC confused by her sudden actions. She asks to add him on WeChat, saying that adding him would be enough, and begs him not to reject her as she pushes her phone toward him. Around them, the crowd stirs in shock. Whispers spread quickly. Some ask what is happening and why another guy is suddenly involved. Others mutter that the so-called pure love warrior has fallen, saying that this scene is unbelievable. Many point toward the former bully, who is still kneeling in the heart-shaped candles, crying and clutching at his chest. He falls to the ground, heartbroken and helpless, saying that it hurts too much, and the once proud senior Li Wang is completely defeated before everyone's eyes. But his grief does not last. His expression twists with anger, and his eyes turn red with rage. He thinks bitterly about why it must be the MC again. He screams in his heart that he refuses to accept it, and curses his ex-girlfriend for disappointing him so deeply. The protagonist looks down at him calmly. He asks whether he feels frustrated, confused, and unable to understand why his ex is being so inconsistent. MC's former bully glares up and screams back in anger, demanding to know what the MC means and accusing him of trying to humiliate him even more. The protagonist steps forward and speaks firmly. He admits that he has always envied him, who has good looks and natural athletic talent, who can easily win attention and affection from girls. He explains that the bully has always taken that love for granted. When the bully notices that his charm starts to fade instead of reflecting on himself, he panics. His mind fills only with the desire to win and prove himself, while he completely ignores his girlfriend's true feelings. The MC continues, saying that it is the bully himself who slowly pushed his ex away through his own coldness and neglect. He tells him that now, when everything is gone, trying to play the role of a pitiful victim and beg for reconciliation only makes him look like a clown in front of everyone. The crowd falls silent. The words strike deeply, leaving the former bully speechless. His face twists, his tears fall again, and he lowers his head in regret. He admits in a broken voice that the MC is right and confesses that he is to blame. The people around them begin to talk again, louder this time. One person says this is not a case of a third party interfering, but the result of the former bully's own mistakes. Another agrees that coldness and emotional neglect are shameful. Someone else points out that if there was no real care and kindness during the relationship, then trying to fix it afterward has no meaning. The crowd slowly nods, agreeing with the judgment. The former bully's ex listens to every word, and it feels as if lightning strikes her heart. Her face turns red again, and her eyes shine with warmth as she realizes that the MC truly understands her. The emotions overwhelm her, and love for him blossoms stronger than before. The system immediately announces that her current favorability points have reached 91. In the distance, the campus girl's roommate also witnesses everything. She stares at the MC in disbelief and wonders what kind of relationship he has with the ex. Suspicion grows inside her, and she quickly decides that the campus girl must know the truth. Anger fills her as she storms off toward the dormitory. She bursts into the room, slamming the door open and startling the campus girl, who is casually trying on a face mask. The furious roommate yells that the campus girl is in trouble and declares that the MC has cheated on her. Xiaofi tries to tell Zhao that her boyfriend is cheating on her. He admits her about the girl confessing her feelings and then exchanging some glances, but Zhao remains completely oblivious. She believes her boyfriend can't control how someone feels for him. Her friend tries to show her the proof of Yuan spending money on other women. But our hero's girlfriend doesn't find that problematic at all because she already knows how much he spends on female anchors. She thinks just because he told her about everything and there's trust between them, then all is well. Instead, she tells Xiaofei that he wouldn't understand relationships because he's never had one and walks away. Xiaofei is worried about his friend's senseless behavior. Meanwhile, our hero is having fun, more or less. Seeing Yuan yawn during a murder mystery game annoys Xiongtao, but he gets screamed at by the girls who swoon over him and would love to even just watch him sleep. Xiongtao wants our hero to join him because his looks are the only reason the other girls would join too. But then, Lin Shutong crying about betraying her sweetheart catches our hero's attention. Xiongtao explains that he couldn't avoid her after she heard about him, and he's heard that she's been seeing a doctor for some health issues. Yuan starts worrying that he might have gone too far. He was hurt, but he can also see that the ex-girlfriend ants to make up for it, and she's guilty about it, which makes him wonder if he's being too heartless. The fangirls ask our MC if the rumors about him being the online sensation Shenhao Yuanzong are true. Our hero starts to think about it, but before he could say anything, a voice comes out the other side offering to take their head off if Yuan was Yuanzong. A man walks in and questions if our hero is even worthy of being compared to Yuanzong. Our hero recognizes the man, but then, the man walks up to Lin Shutong, and after introducing himself as Li Yuntao, the shop owner, he asks her for her contact number, while she stands blushing silently. In high school, Li Yuntao was a rival to our hero, and often used his wealthy and influential family to bully him. Our hero wants to be low-key in front of his classmates for now, so he wants to let his rival show off properly and do a little stress test. Yuan introduces Li Yuntao as a wealthy guy who studies at a prestigious university, runs his own company, and has assets in the millions, making him a high-profile individual. Everyone's jaws drop in shock. Then, our hero pretends to be poor and tells everyone he's not Yuange. His family just received a few million for demolition compensation, and that's it. But even that pisses Li Yuntao off. Meanwhile, Lin Shutong is shocked to hear about Yuntao's wealth. She starts the options between him and our hero. Suddenly, her favorability for Yuan starts to drop, and the dog-licking relationship is terminated. The rival's wealth makes her options clear, and she agrees to share her contact info. Li Yuntao laughs that he got the number of a girl that his rival introduced him to. He whispers in our hero's ear that he can only be stepped on by him, and then tells his waiter that Yuan's bill is free today. Seeing Yuan suddenly laugh worries Xiongtao, but our hero assures him that he's fine. He gave Lin Shutong the opportunity she wanted, but she just couldn't change. For that, our hero no longer sympathizes with her because he believes she doesn't deserve it. Before our hero leaves, Li Yuntao asks our hero if he dares to come to the high school reunion at Kyushu restaurant tomorrow. Suddenly, something strikes Yuan's mind, and he tells his rival that he'll definitely come since he's the one inviting him. Li Yuntao generously tells his classmates to enjoy the drinks and food and asks for their support by shining him up in front of Royu later. His classmates gladly agree to support him and lick his boot. They butter him up about how perfect he and Royu look. Our hero sees his opponent boast about his wealth like always. But then a door opens and Xiao Ruyu walks in looking absolutely gorgeous. She apologizes for being late, but seeing her, our hero is reminded how she lit up his school life for 3 years. Her mysterious and noble nature made all the guys swoon over her and fight each other. Yan walks up to his beautiful classmate and asks for her contact information, which pisses Li Yuntao off. Meanwhile, Xiaoruyu agrees to give him her info, even though she doesn't feel like she's ever seen him before. The system announces that the dog-licking relationship has been bound. However, our hero's favorability points remain at 0 for now. Someone from the group talks about how impressive our hero looks now. But then, Liao Jia steps in and calls Yuan a lackey for the wealthy second generation. She calls him out for hanging out with wealthy guys and tells him that they are famous for deceiving innocent girls. She starts screaming at our MC for helping them. Lu Wenjie tries to defend our hero, but she continues to talk about how bad our hero is. Liao Jia tells everyone that the Yuan probably asked for Xiao Ruyu's number so he could sell it to the wealthy guys. She starts crying, and Xiao Ruyu's favorability for our protagonist falls to a -10. Li Yuntao suddenly steps into the conversation and tells Yuan that he could have approached him if he wanted money. He starts painting our hero bad and flexing about his clean money. However, our hero sees clearly that he and Liao Jia plan to attack him like this. If it were anyone else, they would have lost the argument, but our hero gladly takes this opportunity to step on his opponents. He pulls out his phone and texts Xiao Zhang to drive his Ferrari to the Kyushu restaurant's entrance. Li Yuntao's guests are all satisfied with the kind of feast that he presented before them. As they leave the restaurant, the arrogant rich guy thinks he just won and offers to drive Ruyu home. However, Xiao Ruyu refuses his offer. Right at that moment, the waiter walks in, asking Li Yuntao to move his car. Our rival finds this request unreasonable because he believes he should be allowed to park while having dinner. But the waiter explains that the parking space is reserved for VIP guests after 9 p.m. and a VIP is arriving. Li Yuntao's ego is hurt hearing about the VIP, and he decides to go and see who that is. While standing in the parking lot, Li Yuntao is shocked to see a Ferrari drive in. The car costs 20 million, and he has only seen it at the exhibitions. Everyone is left amazed seeing Zhang Haochen of the Zhang Group. He's rumored to be quite influential in the wealthy second-generation circle, and everyone feels glad to not have messed with him. But then, their surprise turns to shock when he hands over the keys to Yuan, and our hero thanks him, calling him a manager. Li Yuntao is shocked to see that Chen Yuan, his rival, actually owns the exotic car. He's surprised that our hero pretends to be so simple and actually isn't just a lackey for others. While Yuan introduces Zhang to his classmate, everyone realizes that Liao Jia was lying about his worth. Ruyu realizes that Liao Jia and Li Yuntao were only trying to ruin our hero's name. She finds it impressive that despite having his image ruined, he didn't try to defend himself. Suddenly, her favorability for our MC starts to grow once again, and when he offers to drop her home, she agrees. While our hero leaves with the beautiful girl in his nice car, Liu Wenjie makes sure that everyone knows that there's a bigger gap between our hero and his rival's worth than between humans and dogs. As the two drive through the city, Xiao Ruyu starts wondering if she jumped into Yuan's car a little too quickly since she doesn't know him properly. Our hero finally speaks up and brings up the Dikao Taman pendant on his date's bag. Suddenly, she's shocked to see someone recognize her pendant. Our hero tells her that he likes watching Otoman, and especially Dika. She then explains that she's been watching it since childhood, but no girls around her enjoyed it, so she mostly watched it alone. As the two share a glance, Ruyu starts smiling and blushing. Seeing her happy and lively makes our hero more attracted towards her, and he wonders if the serious demeanor was to protect herself. Either way, her happiness makes our hero realize that this is the first time he's feeling love. After dropping Ruyu at her home, they both tell each other they had enjoyed each other's company in their favorite anime language and start laughing like children. As Yuan walks away, our new heroine thinks about how interesting he is and how he doesn't find her childish. She finds him different from most guys. As she walks inside the house, Ruyu's mom asks her if she has considered the blind date. She reminds her that her dad's company is struggling and the Han family's investment would make a huge difference, so they have no choice. Ruyu tries to stand up for herself and asks her mother if her own happiness even matters and why she should be forced to marry a playboy all for the company's situation. Her mother starts scolding her and reminds her that all the privileges she enjoys are because of her parents, and the company's destruction will ruin the family too. Ruyu's mother calms down and accepts that Han Xiaogant isn't the best option, but they don't have any other choice. She tries to convince her daughter that men become more responsible after marriage and begs her daughter to accept the proposal. So Ruyu has no choice but to consider the blind date. Zheng Haodian announces gossip to everyone in the group. He announces that the Xiao group is suspected to be in a financial crisis and Ruyu might marry into the Han family. Yuan realizes that he just got himself into some gossip. However, as images of his childhood crush flash before our hero's mind, he refuses to be a bystander anymore. As he walks away, a girl recognizes our hero. She walks up to him, asks him if he wants to be an internet celebrity, and offers him her company card. Yuan showing no interest in her company hurts Shen Shuyi's ego, and she attempts to try a different approach. At first, she explains her company's capabilities, and then she brings up the wealthy tycoon Mr. Yuan, who dominates the Shark platform. She then threatens to have our hero blacklisted by Mr. Yuan if he doesn't sign with them. At this point, our hero is annoyed by the woman's stubbornness. She doesn't know that he is the Mr. Yuan she's threatening him with. She thinks that Yuan won't do anything, and she may be right, but others will take care of it for our hero. He tells the group chat about Shen Shuyi's harassment and how she's using his identity to deceive others. Everyone in the group agrees to help the real Mr. Yuan. While the woman arrogantly asks our hero if he has considered her offer yet, she receives a call from her boss. She attends the call, and her boss screams at her and orders her to return back to him. While she explains the situation to her boss, our hero only has one goal, and that is to show the Han group what he's made of. Ruyu's mother tries to get her daughter to cheer up. She once again reminds her of the crisis her family is going through, and her dad's struggle in seeking help, and how Uncle Han offered to help in exchange for a simple request. So, she urges her daughter to consider this date as making new friends, and assures her that it'll be worth getting to know Han Xiaogang. Suddenly, Ruyu's phone rings, and she receives a text from Yuan asking for her exact location when she gets to the hotel. His text makes her wonder if our hero knows about her date. She imagines that if she really has to be with someone, Yuan would be a far better option for her. However, her imaginations are washed away when her dad tells her to be calm to help her dad, and our heroine has no choice but to obey. As the Xiao family reaches the hotel, a man leads them to the meeting room where President Han is waiting for them. The man finds Ryu's beauty just as it was rumored, but he also knows that she'll soon be just meat in the Han family. Ryu's eyes catch the briefcase in the man's hand, which makes her wonder why he would bring so many documents for a blind date. As the family walks inside the room, President Han calls Xiaogang to make tea for Mr. Xiao. But when Ryu's eyes land on the table filled with papers, she realizes it's not a blind date, and her dad is up to something. Han Group is one of the largest giants in Seoul, and it has many businesses, some involving gray industries. Han San-shui, the helmsman, is notorious for being clever and always chasing profit. Han San-shui praises Ryu's beauty, and she politely takes the compliment and texts Yuan her location. Han Xiaogang tells her how he's lost his sleep and appetite after seeing her the last time, and assures her that his dad will help her family in their tough times. Ryu, against all her will, hesitantly thanks her date. But then, Xiaogang starts touching her and calls her family. Ryu instantly pushes her date away and stops him from calling her family. Her dad tells her to stop being impolite, which makes Ryu even more angry. He then tries to assure Han San-shui that everything is fine, and they go over the details of the contract. They sit at the table and read through the details of the clauses regarding the equity transfer. The agreement states that the Han family will provide 100 million in funds to the Xiao family's Yuanhong Group for a 20% stake, with the condition that Ryu marries Han Xiaogang. However, the 100 million will be deposited into Yuanhong Group's public account in installments, and the final installment will be completed when Ryu gives birth to the Han family's next grandson. Hearing about the contract pisses off Ryu even more. She snatches the document and is shocked to see the clauses about her marriage and children. She screams at her father for selling her. Her mother tries to calm her down, but Ryu refuses to stop. She refuses to let her life be affected by her father's failures. She makes it clear that she won't marry Xiaogang because he engages in all kinds of ill activities. Her father, stubborn to save his business, slaps Ryu across the face, and she sits shocked and silent. Mr. Xiao believes that he has spoiled his daughter a little too much, and she only thinks about herself when her family is going through a crisis. Ryu's mother tries to convince her daughter that her dad is doing it for the family, and the family will collapse if the Yuanhong Group falls. Ryu tries to convince her parents that they can work together to build their business back up, but they refuse to listen. Her mother falls to her knees and starts begging her daughter. Everyone is shocked to see her on her knees. Ryu tries to get her mother to get up, but she refuses to do so until Ryu agrees to the marriage. Xiaogang steps into the conversation and tells his to-be wife that he will do anything for her because he likes her. Ryu starts to cry for her destiny. She realizes the sacrifices she has to make for being born in a family like hers. She imagines herself in a cage covered with flowers and agrees to the marriage just to get her mother to get up. All of a sudden, her parents' mood lights up, and Mr. Xiao tells his daughter that he just got a little angry before. After getting Ryu to finally agree, Han San-shui decides to proceed with the contract because the sooner they do it, the sooner the Xiao family gets the funds. Han Xiaogang starts drooling with the thought of having a noble and beautiful woman in his bed. While the two families go through the formalities, our MC enters the room with a heroic entry, leaving everyone surprised. Ryu feels relieved to see our hero step through the door, but Han Xiaogang isn't too pleased with the intrusion. He takes a swing at our hero, but Yuan knocks him out with a punch. The Han family guards threaten to kill our hero and boast about their status. But to our hero, these people are just scoundrels selling and buying daughters. He threatens to make the Han family disappear if the guards even dare touch him. However, Han San-shui is no ordinary businessman. Seeing how Yuan managed to find out about their secret deal and their address, he knows there's nothing simple about him. He tries to get to know what family our hero belongs to, but he refuses to share that. Han Xiaogang tries to step into the conversation in anger, but his dad shuts him up. He reminds him to see what tricks his opponent is up to. Our MC turns to his Ryu and assures her that he'll help her solve her family's problems. Ryu feels relaxed with our hero's assurance. He then takes the contract and tells Mr. Xiao that he underestimates his own daughter for selling her for just 100 million, and reminds him that he still has 20% of his own company's shares. Our generous MC tears the contract apart and offers to buy 60% of the Yuanhong Group for 500 million, leaving everyone shocked. Judging by how easily our hero is able to draw out 500 million, Han San-shui realizes that his opponent must belong to a group with assets exceeding 10 billion at least. Being a cunning businessman, he has always been good at understanding people, but he still can't understand our MC's moves. Mr. Xiao realizes that with 500 million he can expand his territory as well. But then our hero adds that the 500 million he's offering comes with a condition and points towards his girlfriend. Ryu is surprised to see that Yuan wants to buy her for 500 million. Xiao Ruoyu is left stunned, her heart uneasy as she wonders if Chen Yuan is no different from those who treat her like a commodity to be bought and sold. For so long, she has endured the weight of being used as a bargaining tool, her voice ignored and her life decided by others. But the moment Chen Yuan speaks, her doubt begins to shatter. He declares with unwavering confidence that 60% of the Xiao family shares must be transferred under Ruo Yu's name. Along with this, he promises her parents 500 million to be given immediately once the transfer is complete. His words strike like thunder, shaking not only the greedy hearts of her parents, but also Ruo Yu's own. To her, this is not just business, it is salvation. Her chest feels warm as she realizes there are still heroes in this world. Chen Yuan is not another captor tightening her chains, he is the one breaking them apart. Ruo Yu's admiration for him grows deeply, her heart lifting with trust and gratitude until her favorability toward him rises to 85 points. Chen Yuan's assistant steps forward with the prepared contract. With composure, he leans toward Ruo Yu, asking her to sign. His tone is firm yet gentle, carrying the promise that no one will ever again control her fate. She is moved beyond words, places her name upon the contract. Meanwhile, Ruo Yu's parents are overjoyed when the promised 500 million reaches them. Their faces shine with greed, yet Lao Xiao cannot resist asking if Chen Yuan's demands are truly limited to this. But his expression hardens. He reminds them that the destiny of their entire family now lies in his grasp. If they ever force Ruo Yu against her will again, he vows to make them taste pain beyond imagination. The warning chills them, silencing any further questions. With the matter closed, our MC tells Ruo Yu there is nothing more to linger for in this place. Just as they prepare to leave, Mr. Han steps forward. His tone is respectful, his pride cast aside. He admits he is impressed by Chen Yuan's decisiveness and apologizes on behalf of his son, asking that our boy let go of the earlier conflict. Mr. Han clearly understands the truth. Our protagonist is far too dangerous to oppose, but his son, unwilling to swallow defeat, interrupts loudly. He insists that Chen Yuan was the one who first struck him. His words earn him no sympathy. In a flash, Mr. Han strikes his son across the face, scolding him for his foolishness. His rage boils over, and he begins beating the boy, declaring that such stupidity will ruin the Han's family legacy. Chen Yuan does not waste time watching the chaos. With calm indifference, he takes Ruo Yu and leaves the scene behind. In the quiet of the car, Ruo Yu finally gathers the courage to speak. She thanks Chen Yuan for saving her, yet Chen Yuan dismisses it gently, revealing that this is not the first time he has come to her rescue. His words sink into her heart, leaving her stunned. Ruo Yu is struck by a sudden flood of memories, a haunting flashback that takes her to a night when fear pressed heavily upon her chest. She remembers pedaling furiously on her bicycle as she tries to reach home before anything dangerous could happen. Ruo Yu's heart is restless, her mind filled with dread, as she silently prays not to encounter any strangers along the way. Yet fate proves merciless. A group of strong, intimidating men appears before her, blocking her path. Ruo Yu halts in fear, her voice barely steady as she demands to know who they are and what they intend to do. When their hands reach out, her fear explodes. She tries to escape, but the men are stronger, towering over her, as she begs them to let her go. Then, an unknown boy storms into the scene, his movements swift and decisive. Without hesitation, he seizes one of the men and drags him away from Ruo Yu. His voice is urgent, commanding her to run fast. Startled and desperate, she obeys, though she cannot see his face clearly through her blur of tears. Chen Yuan has chosen to fight, but Ruo Yu in her fear does not recognize him. By the time Ruo Yu gathers enough courage to involve the police, everything is already over. When she returns with the officers, both our MC and the group of aggressors have disappeared. She stands in shock, heart aching, realizing she may never know who that mysterious savior truly was. Now, in the present, as her memory fades and her eyes meet Chen Yuan's, she admits softly that she never expected her rescuer to be him. That smile, pure and relieved, strikes deeply into our boy's heart. At that moment, her favorability toward him soars to 95, marking the completion of his counterattack. A system notification declares that the host has consumed 500 million yuan worth of licking gold, granting a reward of 50 million yuan. Ruo Yu, now recognized as a host-licking dog, gains 35 points of reinforced breath, as well as salvation. She instantly acquires mastery in multiple languages like English, French, Russian, and Korean, her transformation complete. Meanwhile, Chen Yuan is labeled as the incredibly strong little superhero, his role now firmly established. Chen Yuan reads the notification in disbelief. He had not expected this moment to come so quickly. The counterattack was already complete, though he had countless strategies still hidden in his heart. It feels almost too fast, yet as he gazes at Ruo Yu's smiling face, a warmth replaces his doubts. Perhaps this speed is not so bad after all. For the first time, he does not feel like a distant bystander to his own life. They lean closer, but just as their lips near, the shrill call of Zhao Yuki breaks the fragile silence. Both Chen Yuan and Ruo Yu instantly turn away, their faces burning with embarrassment. Our protagonist receives a call from Zhao Yuki, who happily announces that she has already moved into the villa and has been busy buying furniture. Her tone carries both excitement and demand as she tests him, asking if he remembers what tomorrow is. Chen Yuan hesitates briefly, then realizes it is her birthday. He calmly says that her gifts are already prepared. As he speaks, his gaze flickers toward Ruo Yu, who sits nearby. The timing feels inconvenient, for Yuki has chosen a critical moment to call. Yuki warns Chen Yuan not to give anything overly expensive. She insists that her gifts should be thoughtful and not extravagant, as she will be celebrating with classmates. He agrees, though he inwardly wonders what gift would meet her request. At the villa, the girl holding a photo frame interrupts Yuki to ask where it should be placed. She ends the call with Chen Yuan, then rises and spins around joyfully. She celebrates that from now on, she has her own home, a place worth 60 million. Back in the car, our MC casually tells Ruo Yu that his college classmate is hosting a birthday party. He offers an invitation, though inwardly he hopes she will refuse. Yu declines politely. She explains that tomorrow will be busy after the contract signing, and besides, since the people attending are his friends, it might not be suitable for her. Deep down, she knows that Chen Yuan is hiding something. She knows that questions can be asked, but answers are not guaranteed. Some things are better left unspoken. Chen Yuan feels a quiet relief at her refusal. Yet for formality's sake, he insists once more. Ruo Yu still refuses, promising instead to visit his school someday when she has the chance. This time, Chen Yuan exhales softly, reassured. He knows her presence at the party would only complicate matters. Ruo Yu stays calm, secure in her thoughts. She understands that excellent men will always be surrounded by beautiful women, yet she believes firmly in her own charms, and is confident that what belongs to her will remain hers. When they step out of the car, she thanks him sincerely. He tells her that if she feels uneasy about not attending, she should at least give him a token of interest. Without hesitation, Ruo Yu leans forward and kisses his cheek. She declares that this is the interest, boldly stamping her mark upon him. He turns back toward his Ferrari, butterflies still in his stomach. Planning to relax later with games, he is interrupted by the sound of Li Shutong's voice behind him. He glances back with the corner of his eye. Chen Yuan ignores his ex-girlfriend completely as he vanishes in his Ferrari, leaving only the roar of the engine behind. Turning to Li Shutong, she begins to dissect what just happened. She claims that the MC must have lied the last time. His wealth is far greater than Li Yuntao's, and perhaps his words were never genuine. Maybe he was simply testing her, gauging her reactions, weighing her sincerity. Shutong feels her chest tighten. Another chance slips from her fingers, another opportunity lost. The weight of regret crashes down, and tears stream from her eyes as she clings to Sun Rui. Her voice trembles, confessing that her ex may never forgive her again. She tells Shutong that this time, the situation is beyond repair. And then, almost casually, Sun Rui adds that if she were the one in Shutong's place, perhaps things would have been different. The words strike Shutong like a dagger. She cannot believe that her closest friend harbors such thoughts, still dreaming about Chen Yuan, still coveting him. Sun Rui does not hide her intentions. She praises Chen Yuan openly, declaring his excellence undeniable. A man like him deserves to be pursued, and she would not be ashamed to admit her desire. Her tone grows sharper as she provokes Shutong further. She insists that Chen Yuan is already disgusted with someone like Shutong. He has outgrown her weakness, her indecision. What he truly needs is someone stronger, someone like herself. Shutong can no longer endure the humiliation. Her hands shoot forward, grabbing Sun Rui's hair, yanking fiercely. Sun Rui retaliates instantly, and the two women collapse into a vicious struggle. Around them, bystanders eagerly record the scene, phones raised high. When the fight finally breaks, Shutong is left devastated. Her man is gone. Her best friend betrayed her. Everything slips away while Chen Yuan continues to rise higher, moving further and further out of her reach. If nothing changes, she knows she will soon have nothing left. In that fragile silence, footsteps approach. Turning back, Shutong sees Shen Shui. Calm and confident, Shui offers her a proposition. She asks if Shutong wishes to join their company, to become an internet celebrity, and with a knowing smile, she whispers a promise. She has a way to help her win back Chen Yuan. Rocking gently on his chair, Chen Yuan sinks into deep thought, wondering what gift he should prepare for Zhao Yuqi. He finally realizes that the best inspiration often arrives when one stops forcing it. With that in mind, he decides to go out, walk freely, and perhaps stumble upon the right choice. Before he can leave, his thoughts are interrupted by a sound. A boy nearby sits before a glowing computer screen. The boy laughs lightly, clearly entertained by a live stream. Curiosity pushes Chen Yuan closer to see what captures such attention. On the screen appears Li Shutong, her eyes wet tears. Facing thousands of viewers, she calls herself the girlfriend of Yuan Zong, which is the business identity Chen Yuan uses. She claims to be his first love, saying they met during their freshman year. According to her, the protagonist pursued her earnestly, and she only accepted because he seemed sincere. She insists she never cared for wealth, only for his heart. Her act continues with sobs and trembling words, painting herself as a victim abandoned by power. But to Chen Yuan, it is nothing but deceit. He knows her character very well. She is simple, but never capable of such a cunning performance. Using his name for attention and crafting a perfect victim's role cannot be her own plan. Realizing this, Chen Yuan acts quickly. He calls Lao Hong and orders him to trace the company behind the live stream. The answer comes swiftly. Li Shutong's stream belongs to the Shark Company and Shen Shui. Rage surges through Chen Yuan. Shen Shui has provoked him many times, but this feels like a direct challenge. For her to believe Chen Yuan is powerless is an insult he cannot forgive. Meanwhile, Shen Shui sits comfortably, sipping coffee, basking in the rising popularity. Li Shutong's broadcast has already exceeded 100,000 viewers. She believes her plan is flawless. A little back in the past, her boss can be seen grilling her for obvious reasons. He tells her that the man she is threatening is not ordinary, but someone who can crush their company in an instant. Shocked, Shen Shui listens as the truth unfolds. Chen Yuan is not just a student. He is Mr. Yuan Zong, the same person who spent hundreds of millions recently and dominated every platform. She convinces herself that Chen Yuan must still have feelings for Li Shutong. If they can turn Shutong into an internet sensation, his anger may soften, and he might even favor their company. She sees herself as a genius. A sudden phone call arrives, freezing her expression. The news is merciless. The company has been banned across the entire internet. Chen Yuan sends a message to all his major shareholders, declaring that he detests the company known as Dream Media. He makes it clear he wants none of his friends involved with them and adds that he wishes they should vanish entirely. His friends understand the message instantly, calling and texting back as they pull their shares from Dream Media without hesitation. Shen Shui receives a call reporting that her company has been banned. She wonders in shock, questioning how all cooperation could be terminated so suddenly. Her secretary steps inside, sighing heavily. He informs her that several major shareholders have sent formal letters announcing their withdrawal of funding. He adds that according to the contract, they now must allocate 10 million to repurchase those shares. Shen admits that the company's finances have nowhere near that amount available. With a heavy breath, she questions who on earth would do this to her. The next day, a group of men in suits announce that the company's loan has been overdue for 6 months, stating that the court has ordered a forced execution and freezing of all her assets. Not long after, her employees bow respectfully, apologizing as they explain their decision to resign. They wish her future success before walking out. A property guard blocks her path, warning that unless she pays the overdue management fee for the office building, they will escalate the matter formally. Shen and her secretary pack her belongings in silence, and she's sure that it was Yuan who did it. Elsewhere, Yuan sits on the bonnet of his car, phone in hand. He mutters to himself about the efficiency of his plan and considers inviting his allies for a celebratory meal. Sliding into the driver's seat, fastening his seatbelt, he wonders about buying President Zhao a gift. When he turns his head, his eyes widen and startled. He curses under his breath. Shen clings to his car window, knocking on the glass, pleading desperately. She admits she was wrong and begs for mercy, asking him to spare her. A system prompt flashes that target Shen Shui has been bound and counterattack begins. It shows the current favorability is 0. He warns her to consider this her only warning and to know her place. He roars the engine and speeds away without another glance. She collapses to the ground, dazed. She mutters in confusion why she never noticed how strikingly handsome Yuan actually is when he told her to leave. Meanwhile, he is baffled as the system suddenly displays Shen Shui's favorability plus 10. Everyone chatters inside the villa about how stunning it is, an estate that now ranks among the top villas. Some girls gossip that President Zhao must come from an exceptionally wealthy family, even pleading with her to take them along sometime. Zhong Lily strides in and loudly questions Zhao if this villa truly belongs to her. Zhao only grins. Zhong steps closer, recalling how she visited the Riverside Villa community with her father when it first opened. Tilting her head, Lily remarks that she heard this villa was purchased by a businessman surnamed Hong, in his 30s or 40s. One of Lily's friends saunters over. He backs her up, claiming she spoke no lies, and explains that he once attended a birthday party here for Mr. Hong's daughter. The gray-haired girl suddenly slams a stack of papers on the table. She reveals the ownership documents, showing that the villa belongs solely to Zhao Yuqi. Crossing her arms, she smirks at Zhong Lily, remarking that some people simply love handing their faces over to be slapped. She glances toward the entrance, wondering why he still hasn't arrived. Outside, Yuan steps out of his car, holding a gift meant for Zhao Yuqi, as he walks toward the villa. He mutters that Yuki has invited students from multiple schools, so it's best for him to park a little far away so he doesn't draw unnecessary attention. A sudden roar of an engine cuts through the air. Before Yuan can react, a yellow Ferrari races past at full speed, forcing him to stumble back. He straightens himself quickly as the car screeches to a halt at the villa's entrance. They recognize the Ferrari model instantly. Some students surely know that it's Senior Tang's car. The doors swing open and Tang Shuimin steps out. Everyone knows him as the university's campus heartthrob and the second son of the Tang group in Hancheng. Tang glances to the side, with Yuan clutching a teddy bear as a gift. Tang groans under his breath, muttering how absurd such a present is for Zhao Yuqi. Just then, Zhao appears as she calls out that he finally arrived, admitting she has been waiting for him for quite a while. Both Yuan and Tang turn their heads toward her. Senior Tang spreads his arms wide and wishes Zhao Yuqi a happy birthday. He steps forward, ready to embrace her, but before he can, she slips past him and walks straight toward Yuan instead. Yuan hands her the teddy bear and quietly wishes her. Yuki thanks him with a bright smile. Guests exchange stunned glances, whispering that she has finally melted. Some mutter that they gave her far more valuable gifts, yet none ever saw her this happy. Tang's chest tenses as jealousy gnaws at him. He vows silently that he cannot allow this scruffy to stand by her side. A red delivery truck pulls up behind him. Tang smirks, steps forward confidently, and tells Yuki that he also has a gift prepared. Yuki raises a brow and gives a small nod. Workers hop down from the truck and carefully unload a massive wooden crate. Tang steps forward with pride, announcing that this is his gift, and calls out a Yamaha original piano. Zhao Yuqi walks closer, her eyes reflecting the piano's shine. Tang places a hand dramatically over his chest and remarks that it is the perfect present for a birthday girl. Yuki feels it is too expensive, though he assures her that it is perfect as long as she likes it, and adds with effortless arrogance that money is nothing to worry for him. He pulls out the piano bench and sits down, declaring that he has prepared a special piece of music just for her. As soon as his fingers touch the keys, the party stirs with excitement, as this is Tang Shuiman's first public performance. Tang's hands move like flowing water. Each note spins a romantic melody into the seer. Zhao Yuqi remains by the piano, quietly listening. Nearby, some girls whisper that the two of them look like a perfect match. When Tang finishes, he rises with a flourish. Yuki steps closer and thanks, showing she is impressed and praising him for his extraordinary talent. Tang locks eyes with her, his heart flutters. He murmurs softly that it is nothing. Then his gaze shifts sharply toward Yuan. With a faint smirk, he challenges him openly, remarking that since he has managed to impress Yuki and suggests him to step up and shows his own skills. Yuan smirks, instantly grasping that Tang wants to humiliate him in front of everyone. He turns his head slightly and agrees, remarking that if Tang wishes to hear him play, he will grant that wish. Guests gather around, whispering among themselves. Some scoff that he looks like a beggar and question how he could possibly know how to play the piano. A few chuckle outright, expecting him to embarrass himself. Zhao Yuqi tilts her head slightly, curiosity flickering in her eye as she wonders what Chen Yuan is truly capable of. Yuan takes a calm seat on the piano bench and opens the lid. For a brief moment, he wonders what to do, knowing he has no knowledge of playing. He silently checks his strengthening points and finds enough to allocate. A slow grin spreads across his face. His gaze drifts sideways toward Tang as he murmurs under his breath that Tang must be daydreaming. He smirks, ready to show him what real playing looks like. He channels his system, whispering for it to spend his points and grant him over 50 levels of piano mastery. The air subtly shifts around him, though no one perceives it. Guests watch with mountain curiosity, while Tang crosses his arms with a smirk, ready to see him fail. Then Yuan's fingers descend into the keys. The first notes burst forth with breathtaking precision, his hands gliding with impossible swiftness. The melody pours out flawlessly, each sound resonating with emotional depth. Tang stiffens as recognition hits that Yuan is playing the exact same piece he performed moments ago. A question pounds inside Tang's head that how can anyone memorize an entire sheet of music instantly? Yuan opens one eye mid-performance, lips curling in amusement as he catches sight of everyone's astonishment. A low chuckle escapes him as he murmurs that the real surprise is just the beginning. Without warning, his tempo accelerates. His fingers blur, striking the keys with supernatural speed, yet not a single note falters. Tang's smirk vanishes, replaced with disbelief. The girls watching clutch their hearts. The guests lean forward in stunned silence. Yuan's playing becomes a storm lightning fast, yet surgical precise. Whispers ripple through the crowd. Some wonder aloud if their eyes are failing, unable to even track his hands. Others gasp that this is a long-lost piano technique, infamous for its brutal training, and claims that each note lands with merciless accuracy, cutting straight into their hearts like a barrel of bullets. Then, with one final powerful chord, Yen ends the performance. He pulls his hands away from the keys. A faint mist coils around him, heat rising from the piano after blazing tempo. The entire villa falls silent. Guests stare wide-eyed, mouths agape, as if time itself has stopped. Yen pulls out his cigarette box and taps one free. He lights it with the lingering heat radiating from the piano's tantalizing surface, then steps forward Tang. With a smirk, Yuan drapes an arm around Tang's neck and remarks that his skills are impressive, telling him to keep working hard. He gestures the cigarette toward Tang's lips, leaning close as his voice drops to a calm murmur that piano is a medium for expressing emotions, not a weapon for competition or breeding jealousy. Tang remains frozen, grinning in stunned disbelief, the cigarette still perched between his lips. The hall fills with smiles. Guests whisper and chuckle, claiming its true artistry and admitting that Mr. Tang has met a formidable opponent today. Zhao Yuqi taps her chin in thought, a spark of realization flashing in her eyes. She notes that she must choose wisely and mutters, Chen Yuan not only possesses astonishing wealth, but also an artistic depth towering like a multi-story building. Her gaze drifts toward him. He lounges against the couch, sipping water. A thought settles in her heart that he is an exceptional man. Yuan takes another sip, relaxed and unbothered. Suddenly, his system interface flashes before him and shows that Zhao Yuqi's favorability rises sharply. Notifications appear that she becomes loyal to him, and Yuan gains 26 elegance points and 7 million yuan. Yuan murmurs under his breath in disbelief, fingers tightening slightly around his glass as it dawns on him that he could buy this entire villa without a second thought. A slow grin spreads across his face as he checks his system and new enhancement of his growing power. A soft voice reaches from behind. He turns and his breath catches. Zhao Yuqi sits beside him, so close her chest presses lightly against his arm. She rests a delicate hand on his chest and admits softly that she has never been this happy before. Yuang lean in, their face just inches apart. His voice lowers into a teasing whisper, telling her to consider this as a second gift, then playfully asks how she plans to thank him. A flush blooms across Yuki's cheeks. On the other side of the room, Tang drops his shoulders, his breath leaving him in a defeated sigh. He hugs his knees, realizing with bitter clarity that he has completely lost. Suddenly, a guest shouts that Senior Chin has arrived. Heads snap toward the entrance, murmurs sweeping through the hall. Whispers rise that she is here. Yuang tilts his head in curiosity about Chin. He has heard the name, yet few have ever truly seen her. Chin, also known as the Ice and Frost Beauty, has simultaneously won the campus beauty rankings for 4 years in a row. In addition to that, she is also the president of the Huda Student Union. However, this girl has not grabbed attention or become famous because of how attractive she is, but because of her harsh behavior with the guys, so that they end up shivering in her presence. On one hand, the guys are scared of her, and on the other, she is called a lesbian because of all this behavior. Since both Vice President Zhao Yuqi and Chin are attractive and good-looking people ship them both, assuming they are a couple. But, according to Chin's roommate, she got kidnapped in her childhood. Without getting any serious injuries, she got saved since the police arrived there on time, caught the kidnapper, and reached her. Yet after that, it kind of seems that she hates men. Though now, Zhao Yuqi instantly asks our MC whether she is more beautiful than Chin. Our boy, being a great actor, grabs Zhao Yuqi's chin and assures her that in his eyes, she is the most beautiful girl. Deep down, Chen just wishes to stay away from women like Chin, because this girl literally looks as if she will swallow him or any other man alive, having serious problems in her head. So our guy just acts like a loyal puppy, just because he doesn't want to be dead. Abruptly, Zhao Yuqi gets excited, waving towards someone in front of them. Chen's gaze shifts in front of them when Zhao Yuqi calls out for Chin, which leaves him stunned and nervous. Approaching them both, Chin, in a serious tone, apologizes to Zhao Yuqi for being late due to traffic. Ignoring that, Zhao Yuqi grabs Chen and pushes him a little forward so that he can introduce himself. But our boy is nervous as hell. Even sweat trickled down his face. But with a shivering voice, he introduced himself, acknowledging the fact that he has heard her great reputation for a long time. The moment Chin hears Mac's name, she immediately recognizes that he is the same guy who played piano. When Chen confirms it, Chin remarks on how she has heard that he is a honey who is attracting bees, maintaining relationships with many girls. With that, Chin clarifies that people like Chen might be talented but have no ethics or morals, even calling him trash. Just then, she turns to leave, leaving Chen livid, and at this point, he literally wants to murder this rude girl. Still, Zhao Yuqi tries to calm him down, explaining how this ice queen has a sharp tongue, yet has a soft heart, but it doesn't work. Instead, he gets a notification about Chin being his new target. By now, our guy is enraged, stomping his leg on the ground and acting like a rabid dog since he can't believe that last time it was Shen Shuyi, and this time he has been bound with Chin. Afterwards, our charmer celebrates Zhao Yuqi's birthday, and everyone happily celebrates with them. Pressing forward, Zhao Yuqi is enjoying the cake with her friends, but that is when Chin calls her to the side since she wants to discuss something with her. Because of that, they step out onto the balcony to talk alone. Without hesitating, Chin advises Zhao Yuqi to maintain some distance with Chen. Confused, Zhao wants to know the reason behind it, so the Ice Queen reminds Zhao how he was in a relationship with many girls, and this is why she doesn't want Zhao to end up in a toxic relationship cycle. She also mentions plans to give the position of Student Council President to Zhao, as she herself is about to graduate. Upon receiving this information, Zhao's jaw drops. Jie recalls how she and the Ice Queen never ended up at the same conclusion in council matters in the past, and both stood firm when it came to their decision. Thus, her planning to pass her position to Zhao is shocking. At this point, Zhao doubts if the rumors about Chin being a lesbian are true. The thought of Chin being interested in Zhao makes her anxious, so she politely declines the offer, claiming she is not qualified for the position of Student Council President. Zhao even tries to explain that there is nothing going on between her and Chen, but without listening to her, the Ice Queen gets a little close to Zhao, declaring that she has made her choice. She assumes that love has made Zhao blind, and maybe this is the reason she is not acting like a Student Council senior official who has 5 virtues and 4 beauties. Chuckling nervously, our lover girl Zhao confesses how she is thinking about resigning from Student Council to have more time with the MC. That being said, Chin is disappointed since Chen is the reason Zhao has forgotten her ambitions and sense of responsibility. Being so upset, the favorability of Bing Shui ended up decreasing up to 10 points. Our poor boy, who was innocently eating cake inside, chokes on the cake because why is eating cake so offensive? Little does he know that she is just upset since Zhao has decided to leave the student council. Later on, Zhao Yuqi bids farewell to her guests and hopes they all get home safely. However, when Chen begins to leave, Zhao Yuqi calls out after him and stops him. When our guy turns, he notices Zhao Yuqi's cheek turning red as she blushes. Hesitating she confronts him, saying she has something to tell him. While walking out of the villa, Chen can't help but think how adorable Zhao has become after her favorability has gotten full. Our guy recalls how so shyly she invited him to watch a movie tomorrow, and the way she was hesitating was so intense that he actually thought she was going to ask him to stay overnight. Thinking about staying overnight with Zhao makes him a little embarrassed as well, though his thoughts are interrupted when our MC hears someone muttering something and even sobbing. He looks around and finds Tang Shu sitting in front of his own car, looking evidently demotivated. The way Tang Shu sits there silently, all alone, made our boy nervous because he never expected that this loser would be sitting here all alone at this time. But, to spice things up, our hero gets up on the bonnet of the car from behind, leaving Tang Shu surprised as he moves back instantly. In an instant, Tang recognizes our guy. However, Chen nervously consoles him to not cry over a piano match, but his eyes say it all, and it is clear that the MC is looking down on Tang, which upsets this loser more. Though, the protagonist clarifies that Tang is a little oversensitive and he is just assuming stuff. Frowning, the loser claims that it doesn't matter if the MC has better piano skills, since his family background, influence, and political status can never be matched or compared by Chen. When our guy doesn't respond, Tang reaches out for his car keys and brags about it, being sure that judging by our boy's appearance, he probably doesn't even have cash for a taxi. Thus, Tang offers him a ride in a mocking way. However, this loser guy is just embarrassed for commenting on all that stuff after witnessing our hero approaching the Ferrari LaFerrari. Not caring, Chen drives off, but Tang is still startled because the MC is wearing such cheap clothes, but has the money to buy such a car. On the other hand, while driving, the protagonist thinks about what movie to watch tomorrow with Zhao Yuqi. He is even unsure about the clothes. Just then, his gaze darts to the side of the road where Qin stood all alone. Chen could see Qin shivering because of the cold as the temperature differs in day and night. At first our guy gets a little concerned about her catching a cold, but then reminds himself that it is none of her business, and she should freeze to death since she is already an ice queen, so why not? Chen drives past her very fast, not caring if she decreases another 5 points of favorability, but something catches our guy's attention. From the rearview mirror, he could see that some guys had surrounded Qin on the road. Something more concerning is that one of the guys has grabbed Qin's wrist. These are some weird guys who are not much more than some assaulters, harassing Qin. Apparently, they think that a girl should not walk alone so late at night. Thus, they tower over her and suggest they act as her bodyguards. One of the guys assures her that it will be a free service, but in return, they want a little fun from her. The creeps keep getting closer to the Ice Queen, though angrily, Qin warns them to stay away from her, or else she will call the police in no time. Instead of being scared, these jerks start to laugh maniacally, not taking this warning seriously. A guy, Biao, among these jerks is quite thrilled to deal with a girl having such a temperament, but pain slashes across his face when our Ice Queen delivers a sharp kick to his crotch. These guys are literally all bark and no bite because Biao was kicked, but now everyone is scared and shocked, making sure their friend is fine. Not wasting a single moment, Qin turns back and runs away, but some of the guys start to catch her when Biao orders them to. Sweat trickles down Qin's face because when she turns back to look, 2 creeps are running after her. At this point, she just hates that there are too many of them, since if there were fewer guys, she would have beaten the shit out of them with her martial arts skills. Running, she glances back and collides with a firm chest. Shocked, she looks up and finds out that it is none other than our boy. Chen tries to ask the Ice Queen if she is alright, but before Qin could digest the fact that Chen is here, Bio, with his gang, had chased her. Gripping his crotch through his pants and shivering in pain, Bio threatens to take his revenge. Standing there quietly behind our MC, Qin's hate for men got even stronger. She is even pissed at the protagonist for getting here out of nowhere, because if he didn't appear here, she would have left a long time ago. Just then, our guy reminds these creeps to be in their limits, making them understand that a lawful society won't tolerate such behavior. With that, he even gives them 2 minutes to leave. But when Biao's arrogance takes over him and he refuses to leave, our boy takes the matter in his hand. After a few minutes, all the jerks are lying on the ground, some groaning, others whimpering in pain, while Chen smirks, clapping his hands together to shake off the dust, suggesting these assaulters take advice the next time. Right then, our guy turns and faces the Ice Queen, but his face darkens with embarrassment and shock, because rather than being impressed, Qin's favorability decreases up to 5 points, and now her current favorability is minus 95 points. Right now, the protagonist literally just regrets saving this Ice Queen, because what was so wrong in helping Qin that her favorability decreased? Chen can't help but wonder about the difference between him and the feces in her eyes. Immediately then, looking at the injured and wounded bodies on the ground, Qin demands to know if our MC finds it thrilling to act like this. In addition to that, she also assumes that it is one of his tricks to trap her. Qin thinks that it can never be a coincidence that some random jerks ended up being like this with her, and out of nowhere, Chen appears to save her and become the hero. Stepping forward towards our boy, the Ice Queen grabs his collar, warning him to stop being oversmart. Out of frustration, she suggests Chen stop scheming to pursue her because she is disgusted by the fact that Zhao Yiqi is giving up the position of the student council president. Having said that, Chen walks away after giving our MC one last look of disgust. As of now, Chen finds all of it unable to digest. Thus, he tries to stop Qin and explain his side of the story. Ignoring all of it, the Ice Queen warns our guy to take care of Zhao Yuki, also tells him to stop plotting against her or else she will neuter him. After Chen leaves, Chen kicks Bio's head when he hears the creep groaning. With all the frustration in his heart, he also begins to walk off, vowing to himself to never interrupt other people's business the next time. Leaving the creep half dead, our guy is walking away casually, suddenly realizing he might have kicked something just moments ago, but then he shrugs it off and keeps moving. On his way back, Chen is still muttering to himself. He regrets helping that Ice Queen. However, just then his phone rings. Upon reaching for his phone, he finds out it is Xiao Ruoyu calling him late at night. The moment the MC picks up the call, Ruoyu inquires if he is free tomorrow. Curious, Chen wants to know the reason, so Ruoyu informs him about inviting him to watch a movie. Hearing this, our boy gets a little nervous because Zhao has invited her as well, so it is such a weird coincidence. Sitting on her bed, Ruoyu's cheeks grow warmer, and right now she is pretty scared that maybe he might reject her. But she requests our boy not to do that because it is the first time she has invited someone to watch a movie with her. Our hero, being a pro player, immediately agrees to her target. This guy is such a player and a mastermind that he decides to handle both the girls on the same day, one in the morning and another in the afternoon. A day earlier, the protagonist met Wenzi. At that, he was sobbing so bad because he got rejected by the girl, whom he asked for a movie and even bought 2 tickets for. Now, sitting in the car, Chen is waiting for his friend. It is funny how our boy thought he only had to watch 2 movies today, but now it will be 3. But Wenzi is our guy's brother from another mother, and he was there with him when Chen couldn't even afford meals. As of now, he's going out with Wenzi around 2, with Zhao around 5, and with Ruoyu around 8. Right then, our hero's attention shifts to a girl who gets into his car while applying her lipstick. Immediately, she apologizes for getting in the wrong car since she was so focused on makeup. Frowning, Chen suggests being more careful and politely tells her to get off. However, this girl all of a sudden started acting innocently, claiming that she got into the wrong car but encountered the right person. In her mind, she has no plan of getting off this car, because if she does, then she won't have the opportunity to flirt with a guy who is handsome and even has such a luxurious car. Reaching out to her phone, this girl requests Chen to add her on WeChat, though our guy refuses, lying that he has no phone. On the rejection, this girl gets enraged and gets out of the car, but that is when Liu Wenxie witnesses her. She is the same girl, Du Xiaoyue, who rejected Chen's bro earlier after making an excuse. Our protagonist and Du Xiaoyue are startled to see Liu Wenxie. Even Wenxie is shocked because Xiaoyue told him that she would be going to the hospital in the afternoon to accompany her mom, so she couldn't watch the movie with him. He is puzzled. He doesn't understand how she is in a car with his dear best friend. Wenxie doubts that maybe something is going on between the two of them. When Chen realizes that she is the same girl who rejected Wenxie, he just hopes that his friend doesn't misunderstand him. Seeing Wenxie angry, our guy gets out of the car and tries to give an explanation. Ignoring it, Wenxie points out the gold digger girl. Gritting his teeth, Wenxie is sure that this gold digger was flirting with Chen just because she saw him in a fancy car. There is nothing going on between the two of them, and he is sure of it because Chen kicked this girl out of his car. Hearing this, our guy smiles, being thankful that his brother didn't misunderstand him. With that, the two best friends leave while Du Xiaoyue stands on the road wondering how Wenxie knows such wealthy people, as he is just a loser guy with a monthly expense of only 800 yuan. Later on at the cinema, the movie has already started, but Wenxie has not stopped talking about the earlier situation. Wizzy can't understand how the MC manages to attract high-quality girls. He demands to know the reason. Eating popcorn, Chen states that he has no idea about all that, but personally, he is confused because why would women pursue Wenxie? Chen asks whether Wenxie has no ancestors to honor. On the other hand, 2 girls behind the guys can't help but laugh because of seeing 2 guys watching a movie together, assuming they might be gay. However, our protagonist makes Wenxie understand to stop running around for girls because the more he fawns over someone, the more they see him as someone who is just desperate. Our guy talks like he's giving a TED talk, explaining that spending money on women is foolish, but spending to see her is a good investment. Hearing all of this, Wenxie's eyes widened with shock because all the things Chen said made sense to him. Wenxie grabs Chen's hand, being impressed, while the girls behind them get awkward and embarrassed, thinking that they are about to kiss. Just then, our guy gets uncomfortable by how close Wenxie is to him, reminding him they are in a cinema. With that, he also explains that he is more handsome and rich, so obviously ordinary guys find all of these tricks a little hard to understand. The TED Talk sounds more like bragging and showing off now, so Wenxie tells our MC to shut up. After watching the movies, the guys get out of the theater. Wenxie acknowledges that our guy has been a huge help lately, and in the future, if he needs any favor, Wenxie will be here for him. Though our hero grabs Wenxie's hand, suggesting Wenxie not wait for the future, and calls him on the phone 2 hours later, it would be a great help. Confused, our boy's best friend gets confused, but little does he know that after 2 hours, he will have to leave Zhao and accompany Ruoyu. Watching them holding hands, the girls from earlier were again witnessing our boys all touchy. At this point, the girls are more than sure that they are a couple. After some time, Zhao is standing outside the cinema hall. She is busy looking at the time since the show is about to start in half an hour, and our guy has not come yet. A guy, Wu Banshi, is looking at her from afar, but after gathering the courage, he approaches the girl. Politely, the guy asks for Zhao's WeChat, but Zhao denies, explaining she already has an appointment with someone. Though Wu Banshi tries insisting on it, she assures him she will block him later if she finds him annoying, since just giving WeChat won't disturb her appointment at all. Immediately after that, a hand pats on Wu Banshi's shoulder, advising him to stop begging a girl when she has already been rejected. Upon turning back, Wu Banshi spots none other than the MC Chen. Winking, our guy decides to show Wu Banshi a demonstration on how to talk to a girl. In an instant, the hero plants his hand on the wall near her head. With that, Chen compliments her and requests her to go to a little peaceful place for a deeper conversation, making her blush. Witnessing all this, Wu Banshi gets shocked because our boy is acting like a hooligan, but the moment Zhao shyly agrees to go with him, his jaw drops with astonishment, as he didn't expect that a girl would agree after a guy acted like this. At the movie theater, Zhao is evidently upset, as she can see our boy being busy on the phone all this time instead of watching the movie. Nervously, Chen clarifies that there have been some family matters going on lately, which is why it is keeping him a little busy. Upon hearing it, Zhao understands that it must be hard for him to deal with such a large family business, and normal people like her cannot really relate to it. Closing her eyes, Zhao recalls the amazing skills our guy has, but she also acknowledges the sweat and hard work he puts in to obtain those skills. Jay reflects on how exceptional he is, which is the result of his upbringing, and despite being privileged after doing so much effort, he never talks about the hardships he went through, fulfilling all his responsibility without any complaints. Thinking about all of this, tears stream down Zhao's face. She realizes how ruthless and harsh she is that she invited him selfishly, without thinking that he might be busy. Instantly, Zhao grabs our hero's hands, and that is when he notices her crying. This makes him utterly confused because why is this girl crying over an action-packed movie? After the movie, while walking on the street, Zhao offers him a meal. Now, our guy is in a pretty bad spot. He is unsure about how to respond, but his brother-like friend got his back and called him at the perfect time. The moment the protagonist picks up the call, he pretends that there is an emergency, assuring Wenji that he will come right away. On the other side of the phone, Wenji stood dumbfounded by our guy's actions. After hanging up the call, Chen apologizes to Zhao for leaving, explaining that an emergency has come up and he needs to leave for his friend. With that, our boy leaves, and Zhao assumes that there might actually be something serious. Walking towards his car, our playboy grins, deciding to arrive at the next show and meet Xiao Ruoyu. Chen has finally arrived outside Xiao Ruoyu's newly rented house and texts her about it. Xiao informs our guy about getting outside in 2 minutes. Waiting, our hero takes a heavy sigh, being thankful that this will be the last movie. Today it was so hectic for him, and this made him realize that he won't be messing around again with multitasking. Right then, Ruoyu approaches Chen, looking at her, and takes our guy's breath away as he finds her too beautiful today. The way she carries herself and pulls off everything she wears is the reason she is considered one of the most beautiful women. Though, now they both decide to leave. But the hero's mind is racing with thoughts since he thinks to expect something from this girl if the date goes smoothly. Pressing forward, both Ruoyu and Chen had a great time. They watched the movie and went for dinner. In short, they had a great time, just like our boy wished for. Later on, our hero drops Ruoyu back at her apartment. She suggests that he should head back and rest. Also, she thanks him for such nice company. Before she could walk away, our boy called her name and stopped her. Shyly, he questioned if he could come to her place for a glass of water. After having such a good time, the girl couldn't deny it. So now, our guy is taking a shower at her home, and Ruoyu is sitting in the lounge, hugging a cushion and blushing. At first, she thought that Chen would leave after drinking a glass of water, but then he insisted on staying overnight, as it was too late to leave. Thinking about staying with him, Ruoyu blushes. She even thinks if he asks to do something, what will happen? All these thoughts just make her more and more shy. However, in an instant, her gaze darts at his jacket lying on the sofa. Some papers are getting out of the pocket. Curious, she takes a look at it and finds 4 movie tickets. Witnessing this, Ruoyu's hand shivers with betrayal, embarrassment, and shock. She can't believe that this guy has watched the movie with someone else too. Wiping his face with that towel, our hero gets out of the bathroom, smiling. Though his face drops when he spots Ruoyu sitting on the sofa, angry. Without beating around the bush, Ruoyu confronts Chen. She demands to know if he watched a movie with some other girl today since she found 4 movie tickets in his pocket. Enraged, clenching her fists, she warns him to be clear with her and clarify if he has no interest in her. Right now, she doesn't understand why he entered her life when he has to go on dates with random girls. Our guy stands there speechless. Even Ruoyu's favorability decreases up to 20 points, and she stands up, threatening him to leave and to not meet her ever again. Her current favorability now is 75 points. Lowering his gaze, our boy's body trembles, and he was expecting that something like this would happen, so he decides to make a big move. Now our playboy looks into Ruoyu's eyes, acting all innocent. stating that all his efforts went in vain just because a few movie tickets are making her doubt all of this. Because Royu has seen the tickets with her own eyes, she is not ready to get trapped by these lies. However, our guy takes his phone out and tells Royu to ask Wenji if they went to the movie today. With that, he dials his friend's number. After a while, Wenji picks up the call, confused, as he was not expecting a call from the MC this late. Without hesitating, Royu takes the phone from Chen and asks Weze if they went out for a movie today. All sleepy, the poor guy explains that they watched Wolf Warrior 14. He even elaborates that he invited this girl, Du Xiaoyue, who rejected him, so Chen decided to accompany him. The moment realization hits him, Wenji screams his lungs out because he understands that Royu and Chen are together this late at night. Wenji can't stop cursing his friend for picking up a girl later on, after watching a movie with him. Upon hanging up, our guy gets busy drying himself off, but still, Royu is not satisfied, doubting that maybe Weze is covering up for his friend. An idea comes up in her mind. Du Xiaoyue is her classmate, so she decides to call her and confirm again. Immediately, she calls Du Xiaoyue and demands to know everything. Hesitantly, Du Xiaoyue confesses that Weze invited her, but she rejected it. Later on, she saw a handsome guy picking up Weze in a Ferrari. She regrets refusing Weze for not going out with him, admitting that she would have said yes if she was aware of the rich connections he had. Our boy, being a manipulator, pretends that he is so disappointed with Royu since she literally double-checked to see if he was lying. With that, Chen begins to walk away. Even when Royu begs for him to stop and keeps apologizing, he doesn't stop and shuts the door behind him. Upon getting out of the apartment, our boy let out a heavy sigh of relief because his plan was literally going to be ruined, but thankfully he was prepared in advance. Royu sent the apologizing messages to the MC, saying that she misunderstood him last night. She admits that trust is essential between two people and asks for his forgiveness. Our boy forgives her, admitting that it was his fault too that she didn't explain it clearly, and apologizes as well. The blue-haired girl is touched by him, thinking how it obviously was her fault, but the protagonist took the initiative to apologize. Our boy is such a gentleman. The girl's favorability increases point by point. Seeing this, the MC sighs of relief, thankful that the favorability points are rising again, and how it's still 1 point higher than before. He should be careful next time since he can't be so reckless that he almost played himself to death. It also reminds him that the binding objects should be distinguished. Some are specifically for utility, while others require maintaining relationships. The favorability level should be boosted until they are unwavering and devoted. He decides to make his own harem. He overhears some of the girls nearby whispering about how Senior Tang sponsored the school team for an ultimate bystander king competition, and it's happening in the school gym. The girls are excited to meet the handsome guys on the court. Our MC plans to go there as well to check on it. After reaching there, he finds a lot of people in the court and all the girls are hyping up the Mr. Handsome basketball guy. According to our MC, this competition feels more like a show-off than an actual competition. This Mr. Handsome is trying to elevate himself by hiring actors. Just then, the blonde, Lele, along with the MC's ex-girlfriend, come running towards him. There also comes a black-haired girl from behind. The MC now has 3 girls around him. The guys standing nearby start talking behind his back about how he is so lucky that girls are dumping their boyfriends to get along with him. Just then, 2 beautiful girls from the art school entered the scene. One of them with her bold personality scares those guys and informs them that she hates guys who talk behind girls' backs. She is clearly disgusted with the men around herself. Just then, the basketball guy notices the MC and gets furious witnessing so many girls surrounding him, leaving the real macho guy behind. Suddenly, his attention catches Yu Chi, the brown-haired girl with the bold one, from the art school, and realizes he still has a chance to wash his shame away. He has been practicing basketball for 2.5 years, so the MC surely wouldn't be able to defeat him. Without thinking, he throws the ball towards our boy, but the MC catches it effortlessly and mentions that he doesn't have to sneak attack him just because he lost at the piano, asking if he's trying to take revenge. The basketball guy laughs, saying that he does not deserve revenge, and challenges him to a 1v1 basketball match, even giving him a 3-ball advantage. A guy from the basketball team warns him, saying that the MC looks like a deadbeat guy at first glance. The MC sarcastically asks if Mr. Handsome really wants to play this badly, and throws it in his direction. The guy smirks, thinking how the serve confirms that he is a noob, but the ball hits him with an immense force, knocking him to the ground. All the team members start wondering if their captain is fine. Witnessing this all, the beautiful bold girl is still not impressed as according to her men only knows to fight. Mr. Handsome took our guy way too easy by how he looks, but he is actually so strong. The MC confidently steps in front asking if they can do 5v5 instead of 1v1 because he wants to check his team's skill level, shocking everyone in the school. Mr. Handsome wonders if he is sure of challenging him a 5v5 as with the players, referee, and even the baller on his side. It's more like 1v9 and the MC is definitely going to lose. The game starts as the school team keeps passing the ball to each other. The basketball guy thinks that the MC is a total noob and decides to dominate the court by trampling his face, which will make Yuchi understand that he is her ideal partner. The MC already knows that every guy present here is an actor and a mole of Mr. Handsome. Our boy doesn't need such shitty players, because the system has given him 30+ years of proficiency in basketball, so he can easily show them how badass he is. The guy reaches him, thinking that this is the perfect time to show off his skills, and jumps to goal by ending the game with a perfect slam. But our MC reaches him at the speed of light, blocking the attack. Every student and player present in the court wonders how he was able to pull off such an invisible trick. The teammates talked among themselves if they saw him getting there, but they only felt the ground shake a little. Mr. Handsome is in disbelief and wonders if he is against a ghost and he must be dreaming. But it's our boy's turn now, and he strides towards him with the ball in his hand. But suddenly, the referee blows his whistle, indicating that it's a foul. The protagonist is disappointed in how shameless this senior Tang can act. The basketball guy scores a goal and smirks at the MC, thinking that it doesn't matter if he's good at basketball because, at the end of the day, he will let the referee blow the whistle. He questions the MC's sportsmanship, because there are still unwritten rules on the court, and he's too naive. Conversation stirs in the audience as they realize that the referee is making biased calls against the MC. Even though it's a friendly match, biased calls for an unfair advantage is no good. They start blaming Mr. Handsome for this shameful act. The MC can let his cheating slide, but he can't let him insult the spirit of sportsmanship. He decides to beat the hell out of this arrogant guy. He starts passing the teammates and strikes a perfect goal. After 2 more goals, the arrogant guy starts taunting his own teammates to block him and scolds them. Several teammates surround the MC, but he still manages to jump and the ball ends up in the net, leaving everyone in shock. The referee asks himself how that is even possible. He thinks that even if he knows it's a shady game, the MC is still working very hard for it. He remembers his father telling him something about corrupt referees but still going for sportsmanship, and concludes that the protagonist is doing this for respect. Because the outcome of the game is not determined by the result, but by whether the teammates have given their all, it depends. Everyone understands that it is simply a blasphemy to the game of basketball. The teammates go completely still, making Mr. Handsome worry if they are going to play further or not. Our guy wins people over with virtue, and it is true sportsmanship. The basketball guy is furious. The score is 60-2. Our boy is in the lead. The jealous rival, Tang Xuan, is exhausted, as the MC runs at him with the basketball, as that arrogant guy insulted the sport and any humiliation now is his own fault. Jealous Mr. Handsome thinks that if he can block this shot, he will not lose his image. He tries to stop the MC and elbows him in the stomach, believing the MC will fall. Instead, he gets his bone cracked and screams in disbelief. The MC scores easily. All the girls are cheering for him. He receives a lot of favorability points from all of his girl partners. According to the protagonist, Tang Xuan is not worthy to be captain, and that competing with trash is an insult to his skill. Tang is still stubborn and shouts and claims the MC as arrogant, which he will regret. In the crowd, 2 girls whisper that they forgot to record the MC's dunk. The black-haired girl holds a water bottle and looks around for him. Just then, all the 4 girls stand with water bottles in their hands in silence. Awkward. Outside the campus, MC pants. He is glad that he escaped. He thinks that if he had stayed, choosing which bottle of water to drink from could have been a disaster. Later in his room, fresh from the shower, MC's phone lights up with a request from the amorous wanderer from a wealthy group, Yellow Picture Domineering Business, to add him as a friend. Just then a message pops up greeting him. As our boy replies to confirm the matter, the person says that he only wants to know if the MC wants a wife. The MC stares at his phone, stunned. Gao Xuanyin, who won the Best Actress title at 22 and is praised as one of the top 4 young stars, now faces scandal, a damaged reputation, and a 30 million penalty. As heiress of the Gao Group, this becomes a heavy burden for the company. The person messaging the MC turns out to be her brother, Gao Lang. With tears in his eyes, he begs the MC to help his sister. The MC drinks calmly and asks if the actress's brother is asking him to marry her. The actress's brother becomes shocked and explains that it was only a casual remark, since he was afraid the MC would ignore him. He clarifies that his sister is being framed, the public is against her, and the huge penalty is crushing her. He only wants the MC to buy her villa. The MC thinks that having a house of his own would be good and spending money is not a problem for him. He agrees to meet the actress and inspect the villa. The actress's brother becomes overjoyed and rushes to text his sister, believing the MC truly lives up to his reputation. He even thinks that if his sister can marry the MC, it might become possible. Inside the villa, the actress is furious as she argues on the phone. She curses Mr. Tiger for spreading rumors and trying to use his influence to pressure her. She throws the phone away, punches a pillow, and curses the old man in anger. After venting, she collapses on the couch and says sadly to herself that she does not know what to do. She thinks about the many breaches of contract and wonders why life is so difficult when she only wants to be a simple actress. Her phone rings again, this time from her brother. The actress's brother tells her that she no longer needs to worry about money because he has found her a powerful backer. She grows suspicious and asks what he means. He quickly explains that it is the influential brother Yan, who has agreed to buy her villa and might even solve her problems. Hearing the name, the actress freezes. In her memory, brother Yan is nothing more than a disgusting and creepy old man. The actress shouts on the phone, angry at her brother. She warns him not to side with outsiders that try to trick her. Her brother begs her to believe him. He explains that MC is very powerful and will be coming soon. He tells her to show MC the house and to be polite, then hangs up quickly. The actress is furious. She screams that all men are not good, even her own brother. She swears that even if she starves at home, she will never take money from a man. Soon after, the protagonist arrives in a red Ferrari. He admires the neighborhood and notices that how well the houses are built. Surprised that this is where the actress lives, he rings the doorbell. Inside, the actress curses at his impatience and throws on her coat before angrily opening the door. She expects to see an old man, but instead finds a young, handsome man standing there. Shocked, she freezes. The MC greets her politely and walks inside with ease. The actress quickly realizes that this must be Yang. They sit down in the living room. She tries to focus him on the house, but MC waves it off, saying that the house is fine. What matters is her. His sharp gaze makes her shiver as he says directly that he wants her as his lover. At that moment, the system activates, showing her details. Her favorability is at -35 and the rewards for completing the counterback. MC decides it's better to be straightforward than to waste time. The actress, insulted, wants to mock him, so she lays out conditions. A luxury car worth more than 10 million, a suite in One Park Avenue, and 2 big film projects with her as the star. Before she can finish, MC interrupts and agrees without hesitation. He even adds that one suite is not enough. He will buy several, one for each member of her family. The actress is left completely stunned. After some time, the actress's brother arrives. He notices MC's Ferrari outside and wonders why he has not left yet. Inside, he asks his sister why she is alone when the car is still downstairs. The actress tells him that the protagonist gave her the LaFerrari. Shocked, he complains that why such a car worth over 20 million was given to her instead of him. She adds that the MC also gave her money. The brother guesses it must be a house down payment of 1 or 2 million, but she corrects him and says it is 100 million, showing him the bank message. His eyes brighten as he thinks that although the house is not bought yet, 120 million has already been received. He convinces himself that the MC must like his sister and laughs excitedly about the chance of becoming his brother-in-law. The actress recalls how the protagonist asked her to be his lover. She tells herself she should feel disgusted, yet admits he gave money cleanly and decisively. She remembers his words about the car and the 100 million, his promise of more if needed, and how he left without touching her. She realizes that he acted like a gentleman and not a bad person, and her opinion of him softens. At the campus, the graduation ceremony is going on. Outside, the tough girl Chin warns the campus girl Yuki that MC is not a good person and urges her to stay away, saying she will not be able to protect her after graduation. The campus girl insists he is not as she thinks. The tough girl argues that during the basketball game many girls gave him water, proving his lack of loyalty. The campus girl replies that he rejected them all and left, showing no issue. The tough girl adds that on her birthday night, MC staged a fake rescue to impress her. The campus girl says she exaggerates and demonizes men too much. She explains MC has shown courage and justice many times and shows a picture of him receiving an award. She points out he could not have staged the event since he did not know the tough girl would come. The tough girl hesitates, wondering if she misunderstood him and if she really demonizes men unfairly. Embarrassed, she walks away. The campus girl calls after her about class photos, but she does not return, blaming herself in silence. At the office, Xiaoqin tries to calm herself down. She decides to talk things out with Zhao Yuki. She assures herself that mistakes do happen, but even after so many days, all this consolation doesn't help her. Xiaoqin is still feeling so ashamed. The worst thing is that whenever she feels ashamed, Chen's face appears in her mind. However, her thoughts are interrupted when the boss calls her to tell her something. At the boss's office, the boss tells Xiaoqin about the charity auction. Basically, a really famous and wealthy business in Seoul has organized a charity banquet. Because Xiaoqin is her assistant, the boss assigns her a task. The boss wants Xiaoqin to make connections with the rich people and make a way for their company's future, since the boss heard that the charity banquet has invited some mysterious tycoon named Yang. Upon hearing it, Xiaoqin gets a little disappointed because she thought working with a female boss could help her avoid this kind of stuff. But now that it is the very first task given to her after joining the office, she doesn't refuse, assuring the boss about trying and giving her best. Though the boss makes it clear to Xiaoqin to not just try, it's a must to complete. On the flip side, our boy is talking to Zhang Haotian on the phone, who informs him that Gao Lang's sister, Gao Xuanyin, is personally taking a step to expose some influential people in the entertainment industry. The moment Chen hears it, he gets in front of his PC to check Weibo. When the MC takes a look, he gets more than impressed as the buzz is off the charts. Some people are supporting Gao Xuanyin, while others can't help but criticize her for exposing others while having so much dirty information exposed about herself. Some tweets about Gao Xuanyin being honest, telling the critics to read the clarification post about Gao Xuanyin. Zhang Haotian further elaborates that the entertainment industry big shots were targeting the Gao family, but faced resistance when they tried to take advantage of Gao Xuanyin. and that is why he tried to ruin the girl's reputation. Hearing all this, our boy understands that Gao Xuanyin definitely stands out in Zhao Haoshan's industry. Zhao Haodian chuckles but then informs our hero about the charity auction where the famous figures in Seoul will be present. Because of this, he suggests Chen should go there. Upon receiving this information, our guy finds it thrilling due to the fact that it sounds like a place where money can be spent freely, but before that, he decides to take care of something else. At Gao's mansion, her people are panicking. They are making fake accounts to upvote the positive comments. At this point, Gao Shenyin is enraged because she is not a liar, but still people talk about her negatively. The situation has worsened, as the opponent's firepower is stronger than theirs, and they have spent much money hiring professional PR and influencers to defame her. Her secretary is also busy talking about the insufficient funds in the company account. Though Gao Xuanyin's anger melts down when a notification comes up on her phone, it is our hero sending 100 million to her account. Gao Xuanyin can't help but blush, realizing that Chen might have seen the arguments on Weibo and sent money thinking she might be in a crisis right now. The girl cursed Chen for showing off his money, but no matter how tough she acts, her face and expression say otherwise. Just like that, Gao Xuanyin's favorability increased, and our boy's plan worked. At the charity auction, Bai Qilin taunts Gao Lang for looking good, as he used to look pretty worried previously because of his sister's situation. Chuckling, Gao Lang reveals that his sister has met Mr. Yan recently, and he is now like a half-brother-in-law, so this is why he is happy. Hearing this, everyone gets shocked, and they confirm if he is the same Mr. Yan who spent billions in the Shark platform, acquiring shares of the Xiao family. They all can't help but comment on the immense amount of money and influence Mr. Yan has, though Bai Qilin thinks that it is something very good for Gao Lang's sister, because after all that argument going on online, she definitely needed solid support. The guys there politely request Lang to introduce them to Mr. Yan if he gets the opportunity to do it. However, they all get shocked when Lang happily informs them about Chen agreeing to go out for a drink a few days ago with him. In an instant, Xu Yuan stands up and is about to walk away, but then Bai Qilin stops him, demanding to know where he is headed. While walking away, Xu Yuan tells them to continue the conversation, and he will be back from the washroom. Although Xu Yuan is just disgusted, and this is why he walked away. He can't believe that Lang's sister has become a concubine, acting all braggy about it when she is not even worthy of holding shoes for Yanzong. Xu Yuan is aware that the charity auction today will practically be a battleground for the powers among the royalty in Seoul to divide the piece of pie among themselves. By doing this dinner, they are planning to create an allocation of benefits for the future, and Yazong is the most important invited guest for tonight's event. When Xu Yuan got to know about it, he collected all the information related to this guy and formed a flawless psychological profile with an accuracy margin of no more than 5%. He is aware that Yazong is an elder who is a mastermind, but his exceptional charisma can never stay hidden. Now Xu Yuan stands at the doorstep to befriend Yazong, planning to impress him and not let anyone else do it first. He smirks. Inside his heart, he challenges Tang Aoji to watch closely because now he is about to prove that he is the most deserving heir to the Tang group. While thinking all of this, Xu Yuan's gaze darts towards a familiar face, Chen, who is standing outside the mansion in the security guard's uniform. Looking at the mansion, our boy was quite impressed by this charity auction and went all out. Our rich boy spent 20,000 yuan to buy this outfit, and now it is making him cry. However, his eyes widened with shock to witness the other bodyguards wearing the same suit as him. Our guy wonders if wealthy people's guards wear this kind of expensive suit. Just then, a voice mocks him, demanding to know how Chen ended up being a guard. The protagonists really want to ignore the barking dog, but right now he doesn't want to make a scene. Even when Chen doesn't answer Xu Yuan, he taunts him, wanting to know if the hero is working as a part-time security guard because of facing money problems recently. Apologizing, the MC clarifies that he is not a bodyguard and was invited here. With that, Xu Yuan suggests being a little more respectful since they don't know each other personally. Smirking, Xu Yuan offers our boy to go in together then, all thrilled to see when the security guards will throw him out. Upon arriving at the gate, the bodyguard asks for the invitation card from Chen, which confuses him. The more frustrating thing is Xu Yuan, who keeps mocking our guy about not having an invitation card. In addition to that, Xu Yuan is sure to stop pretending to be a security guard since it is not that shameful. A fancy car stops in front of the mansion, and Qin gets out of it. Upon getting out of the car, Qin confirms that this is the venue for the charity auction, while the others are mesmerized by her beauty. They think that Xiao Ruoyu from the Xiao family and even Gao Yin from the Gao family might not be compared to her. Qin doesn't like being here, but tonight she has to pretend and must convince Mr. Yan to invest in her company. Right then, her attention shifts to her side, where she could hear some guy taunting someone about having the guts to attend the banquet without any invitation. This is when she looks carefully and notices that a random guy is taunting none other than Chen. While she is curious about his presence there, our guy is livid and explains that he was indeed invited, but has no invitation card. Though the guards are firm to not let our hero enter the place, as they were informed that everyone invited has an invitation card. Shoyun adds to it that those without invitation letters are only special people such as his brother, Tang Aojie from Tangxi, Cheng, the CEO of the Shark platform, and the internet's #1 tycoon, Yan. Grinning, Xu Yuan demands to know who Chen is. But before he could respond, Chin interrupts, declaring that Chen is with her, and as even an invitation allows one person to enter, so he can go in since he is her friend. Witnessing this, our boy gets frustrated because she is trying to return a favor. At first, she wanted to make a phone call to show off and humiliate Tang, but now this girl interrupted and ruined everything. Nonchalantly, our boy suggests the Ice Queen stop doing this out of pity because he is not a follower and was actually invited. In addition to that, the protagonist tells her to stop interrupting in others' businesses, as this is not the Hunan University Student Union. These statements make the Ice Queen livid since she just wanted to help and act kind, but this jerk is arrogant. Her hate for men keeps increasing all the damn time. In an instant, Xu Yuan calls our guy a loser for acting all high and mighty even after having no invitation card, and for having the guts to insult others who are trying to let him in. Because of this commotion, everyone gathers and hears everything. When the crowd gathers, Xu Yuan insults Chen more, telling him to act a little real because he is a security guard who is pretending to be an invited guest. Right now, the protagonist decides to not say much because Xu Yuan's path will turn out to be tougher later on. Baikilin notices the crowd wondering what is so exciting because of which so many people are gathered. Bai's eyes widen with shock when he realizes that it is Mr. Yan that Xu Yuan is trying to humiliate in public. Sweat trickles down his face and panic slashes across his face. Thus, Bai decides to call Zhao Haotian, being aware that something big is about to happen at this point. Tang Aoji from the Tang group heard that Mr. Yan would be attending tonight. He had long been eager to make new acquaintances, so he would need Mr. Zhang to help introduce him. Hao Tian, sitting next to him, praised Aoji for his kindness, and informed him that, since Mr. Yan was his friend, he couldn't speak much about his affairs as he treated him like an elder brother. Aoji confirmed that everyone knew about their connection. Just then, Tian received a call, learning that Mr. Yan had been stopped at the tour and was being humiliated. Furious, he recalled that Mr. Yan was the special guest of the evening. Aoji speculated that it must be Tang Xuan, the second son of the Tang family, and rushed to stop the mess. Back at the scene, the arrogant Zhuwen was insulting Mr. Yan, suggesting he should be a security guard instead of forcing his way into their circle. The MC, clearly annoyed, advised Zhuwen not to lecture him, as he wasn't qualified to do so. Zhuwen, in response, claimed that even his brother wasn't qualified. He arrogantly referred to his family's wealth, stating that Tang Aojie, as the head of the Tangxi group, commanded billions in various industries. With just a sneeze, he believed he could make souls tremble. As his second brother Zhuwen confidently insulted the MC, the blonde standing nearby realized that this arrogant guy always talked about his family and brother, who was nothing more than a second-generation rich kid. At that moment, Mr. Tang and Hao Tian arrived, visibly annoyed. Zhuwen reassured his brother that he could handle the situation, but before he could continue, he was slapped across the face in front of the entire crowd. Mr. Tang told him to apologize to Mr. Yan for his foolish actions. Zhuwen was stunned, and Tang Aoji, on behalf of his younger brother, apologized to Mr. Yan for acting out of line. Our boy is actually Mr. Yan, with assets in the billions, and the special guest of today's event. His low-key nature is what makes him the most charming. Reporters nearby start fanboying and eagerly ask for his autograph. The arrogant guy is stunned. He is always lost to the MC, whether in piano, basketball, or now, even in terms of family background. He wonders if Chen Yuan might be his true archenemy. Hao takes responsibility for the day's mishap, admitting that he hadn't planned things well enough. It was inconsiderate of him not to call Mr. Yan. The MC reassures him, saying that with their relationship, he would never blame him for such things. Later, Mr. Zhang announces that the auction is about to begin, and they should head inside. The blonde girl, who initially thought the MC was just a show-off with shallow depth, now realizes he's genuinely low-key. If he were to use his identity as Mr. Yan, every girl would undoubtedly pursue him. She feels embarrassed that he doesn't need her help at all, and once again, she's created unnecessary trouble. It's been awkward for her trying to complete the task her boss assigned. According to her, it all depends on looks. Hao informs Mr. Yan that the first segment of tonight's banquet is the charity auction. There will be not only jewelry, antiques, and company stocks, but even land. He mentions that Mr. Yan will definitely be interested. Furthermore, Hao reveals that the city of Seoul has contributed a prime piece of land to support the charity auction. This piques the MC's interest, and he decides to spend some money. Companies and land are indeed quite costly, with prices often reaching tens or even hundreds of billions. The MC finds himself in a dilemma about where to spend his money. As he's planning, his eyes catch the attention of Chin, but he quickly dismisses the idea of giving her money, thinking that a woman with issues in her head wouldn't appreciate it. Then, his gaze shifts to Gao Xuanyin, and he wonders why she's here. With her presence, everything suddenly feels much smoother, and he makes up his mind to record every detail of this night because she seems like the perfect package. Afterward, he starts noticing the seating arrangement, realizing that someone like Han San-shui, with his high standing, absolutely shouldn't be relegated to a place in the second row. When his eyes drift toward the nameplate on the seat right beside him, he's stunned to see the name Chu Tenghui. That's the very top leader of Hancheng City, and this discovery makes him recognize that his own name, Boss Yan, must actually carry considerable weight here in Seoul. Just at that moment, a young woman in a striking black coat walks into the room and confidently sits in the chair assigned to President Chu, directly next to him. The entire audience is taken aback by such an audacious act, but someone quickly clarifies that this girl is none other than Chu Yumo, the only daughter of President Chu himself. Her arrival is extraordinary, and it's clear to everyone that if any man could possibly win her heart, he might cut down decades, perhaps even 50 years, of the hard struggle it normally takes to reach the top. The protagonist finds himself flushed and embarrassed by her breathtaking beauty, turning nervously to the side since he knows she is not someone he can afford to offend. After some time, Mr. Aoji approaches Chu Yumo with a warm greeting, clearly aiming to form ties with her for the sake of advancing group development. His hidden intention, though, is to go beyond business and perhaps even secure her hand in marriage. Yumo responds with polite civility, but deep inside she easily sees through the shallow flattery and transparent schemes. She secretly regrets giving in to her father's request to show up at what she considers a worthless and irritating dinner banquet. Suddenly, her gaze falls on the protagonist, and to everyone's surprise, she chooses to introduce herself directly to him, asking who he might be. Our main character, completely overcome by nerves, reacts in a way that makes her doubt herself, wondering if perhaps she appears intimidating since he is keeping such an obvious distance. Beads of sweat slide down his face as he tries to avoid any entanglement with her, dreading that the system might forcibly bind him to her against his will, which would surely bring disaster. Yumo once more presses for his name, this time pointing out that his behavior comes across as discourteous. At that moment, Mr. Tang and Mr. Zhang step in, urging him to respond properly to the daughter of President Chu. With no other option left, the boy reluctantly prepares to state his name. Right then, the system intervenes with a new prompt. A fresh, dog-licking target has been activated. It declares that if Chu Yumo's favorability toward the host surpasses 95, the counterattack will succeed, and she will officially become his loyal dog-licking partner. As an added bonus, the system promises to transfer 10% of the total dog-licking gold coins into his private account, alongside 35 strengthening points, and the special skill reward called Firearms Mystery. The protagonist, however, can only weep internally, realizing yet again how cruelly the system manipulates his life. At that exact instant, Yumo looks at him intently and remarks that she remembers who he is. The renowned host, actor Ouyang Ling, announces the arrival of the first auction treasure. It is a necklace, a one-to-one replica, specially crafted after the heart of the ocean from Titanic. Produced by an old jewelry house, it showcases top designers' masterful skill. With a rare blue heart-shaped diamond set in platinum and adorned with white diamonds, this unique piece is globally unmatched, symbolizing eternal and steadfast love. Its opening price is 120 million. Several girls vow to remarry whoever purchases it for them, while some weep, regretting their fathers never worked hard enough to afford such luxury. The bidding climbs quickly until it reaches 150 million. Suddenly, our young man boldly raises the bid to 300 million. Silence instantly spreads across the audience. Yumo is stunned. She had assumed he was some spoiled second-generation heir, yet he proves to be a true heavyweight himself. Mr. Tang's eyes widen as he declares the current bid stands at 300 million. The figure is about to be finalized, since no one present can surpass this sum. The hero insists on presenting the necklace to Miss Gao Xuanyan seated in the back as a gift. Lady Gao blushes upon receiving the heart of the ocean from Mr. Yan. Though aware of his notorious reputation with women, the gesture still stirs shyness, even faint delight. Yet she refuses to fall into his snare. An independent woman with vision and pride, she chooses instead to accept his spending while showing him her true strength. The second auction highlight is then announced, a piano, not ordinary, but the famous Hengzaman crystal piano. Ranking second among the world's 10 most celebrated pianos, it is entirely crystal and was once played by Master Lang. Its opening bid is 30 million and rises to 45 million. As expected, the protagonist suddenly offers 200 million, intending it as a gift for President Zhao. Confident no one could top this, he is stunned when a voice rises with a bid of 2100 million. Yan recognizes Shangguan Huo, the daughter of the Zhenhuo group. With her family's mobile game business, Shangguan is rich, but our hero is not short on money either. He bids 300 million. Shangguan bids 310, but then our protagonist jumps directly to 500 million, leaving everyone's jaws dropped on the floor. The auctioneer is shocked to see something worth 30 million being sold at 500 million. He then announces our hero's bid and counts to 3. With no other counterbid, Yan wins the item at 500 million. The rich woman speaks highly of our hero's wealth, but she doubts his piano skills and finds it useless that he's buying a piano. Seeing her make fun of him, Yan decides to show her how amazing he is. He offers to show Shangguan his piano skills and test the piano at the same time. With his 60 years of piano skills, Yan starts playing, and the girls around instantly fall in awe of his skills. They find his skills far better than any contemporary artist. Some find their first love in him, and some start missing their grandma. Xuan Yin's favorability for our hero starts to increase as she starts to doubt her understanding of Yan. She starts questioning if someone playing the piano so beautifully can be dirty inside. Bingju's favorability for him increases by 100 points as she finally understands why Yuki fell in love with Yan. Seeing his family background, wealth, and everything, she realizes he's the perfect idol and finds herself unqualified to judge him. Our protagonist is surprised to see Bingshui's favorability suddenly increase by 100 points, and he understands that sometimes talent is more effective than money. Gumo Yumo approaches Yan. She sings praises of his skills and asks for his WeChat to talk about professional techniques. Bingshu asks our protagonist for his WeChat, but he doesn't want to connect with her. He makes the excuse that he didn't bring his phone. The girl takes his rejection positively, seeing it as no ulterior motive for her. Her favorability for Yan increases, making him wonder why he keeps coming across women with mental health issues. Bingshu then solves the problem and asks for his phone number or WeChat ID. Our protagonist once again makes the excuse that he doesn't remember his phone number, but then the girl asks for his ID number to check for the contact information. Seeing Bingshui's persistence, Yan accepts defeat and agrees to add her. Finally achieving her goal, the girl feels happy. The auction continues, and the auctioneer announces that the next items are different from those before. These items involve the collateral from a company's bankruptcy. Hearing about this, our hero's eyes start to glow as he looks for his main event. The auctioneer announces that the first company being auctioned is BigCat TV, a company once among the top 5 live streaming platforms in the country. BigCat TV's market value once reached several billions, but declared bankruptcy due to various reasons. The bidding starts at 50 million, and our hero instantly bids 60 million. He's confused seeing all the bidders quietly watching and thinks they just don't want BigCat TV. However, the other bidders are just angry at his aggressive bidding and do not want to compete at ridiculously high prices. The auctioneer announces Yan's bid at 60 million and asks for any counterbids. He counts to 3, and with no counter-offers, the company is sold to Yan with hopes that it returns to its past glory. Han San-shui suddenly receives a text from his detective sharing information about Yan. Seeing the text, Han San-shui sneaks out and calls his detective to ask him for more details about Yan's background. The detective informs Han San-shui that Yan is a 21-year-old, born in Dayang County, Tianmin City, Hubei Province. His father, Jianhong, and mother, Ma Qumei, are fruit farmers and own 2 fish ponds. He attended Shuangfeng Primary School and studied at Country No. 3 Middle School for junior high school, and is currently studying at Huazhong University of Science and Technology. All this background proves to be quite ordinary. However, the detective found his bank account to be a globally top-tier account owned by less than 50 people in the world. Our protagonist's account has no payment restrictions and is able to take care of hundreds of billions in a single transaction. Han San-shui can't believe that this is an ordinary family because a child from a family like that wouldn't have such financial resources, or go around giving people hundreds of millions for no reason. San-shui thinks that Yan's personal information has been modified. However, seeing the official information manipulated makes him think that Yan's family must be terrifyingly influential. He starts sweating in fear and orders the detective to quit the investigation immediately. Han San-shui runs away, scared that he nearly got himself in trouble. A man finds him spying on Yan's information, and seeing his scared reaction, the man starts thinking that maybe our hero belongs to some hidden family. Soon enough, he starts telling other people about his speculations. Another man hears him and walks up to other people to tell them about Yan's rumored background. He exaggerates that Yan belongs to the Chen family, one of the 4 mysterious families of China, and starts talking about how hidden the family is and how its influence is found everywhere. The man's eyes start to glow in excitement, thinking that Yan's appearance means that the Chen family is coming out of the shadows. Hearing these rumors, Zhang thinks it's obvious that Yan comes from a hidden financial dynasty. Seeing his extraordinary wealth makes him realize that the Zhang family is nothing compared to our protagonist. Meanwhile, our hero hears all the rumors about his generational wealth, and only he knows that his dad is just a fruit seller. Suddenly, all the girls surround him, asking to dance with him, sharing their contacts, or inviting him to their house. All the girls start pulling on Yan to dance with them. Our protagonist looks for an exit and suddenly sees Zhuan Yin in the distance. He tells the girls that he already has a dance partner and runs away from them. He approaches Zhuan Yin and extends his hand forward to ask her for a dance. Zhuan Yin considers saying no, worrying that he might take advantage of the situation. But she remembers our hero giving her an expensive necklace and realizes that it might be rude to not say yes. So she extends her hand and Yan pulls her to himself. He tells her that he turned down 18 women to dance with him, and if she doesn't say anything, he'll consider it a yes. His dance skill activates, and as they start dancing, Xuanyin realizes that our protagonist is more than just a rich guy. She finds his hands warm, and seeing him constantly catch her by surprise makes her wonder if he's just pulling pranks. However, Xuanyin doesn't hate this. Instead, she starts finding it attractive, and her favorability for Yan increases by 5 points. Seeing the two dance so elegantly, the whole crowd falls in awe of them. Meanwhile, Bingshui sees the girl and wonders if that's the girl Yan gave the necklace to. He finds his dedication impressive, seeing him not care about Zhuanyin's scandals or her heritage. At first, she thought he would be swaying over the girls hitting on him, but seeing him reject them makes Bingshui realize that he's a responsible man. However, realizing that he rejected her to go after Zhuanyin fires her up in anger. Right then, Zhang walks in to ask Bingshui to dance with him, but she rejects him, saying she can't dance and she's not interested in older men. Zhang's world falls apart after being called old. Our hero sees the 5-point increase and realizes that the dance was worth it. As he's about to leave, Bingshui walks up to him to ask him to dance. Seeing this, Zhang starts crying because Bingshui rejected him, saying she can't dance.